Good morning, everybody.
Good
Hey,
morning.
y'all. Hey, y'all. What's up? We're
Good
still waiting
morning.
for Adrian to come in.
Huh?
I said
Yeah,
we're still
she's still
waiting for
not in
Adrian.
yet. Yeah.
Okay.
She
Oh,
said she said she's coming. She's coming.
okay. So she's gonna log out and come back in.
Yeah.
Okay. And we just start this too.
It's so good to see everybody on this snowy
I
morning.
know. Hi,
I
Candy.
know it's
Just like
great.
Candy.
Hey.
Yeah, you know.
When you want, even when you don't, you think go.
Oh gosh, y'all are funny. I love it. Love it. Love it. I'm just gonna.
I had
Anybody
to sit
been
on
out
the
of the snow to
floor.
build some snow to build do the snow angels or the snow angels out there or
No, it
snowmen?
wasn't a lot of. Where you at in Newport News?
Out Hampton.
We ain't getting no snow. I mean, we did.
It's just,
Thank you,
We
yeah,
got a
Jesus.
yeah,
little
we don't
bit.
really have no
Thank you,
snow.
Lord.
It's just enough to dust the ground. That's about it.
You know what? Last time we got a lot of snow, but
Hmm.
you know, I guess I don't know. I think
Yeah.
people kind of
The way
tired of
they were
snow right now.
talking, the way they were
Huh?
talking about it, I thought we were going to have a blizzard come through here.
I
I know,
know,
right?
right?
I
The
thought
other
so
the
too.
other week it was a blizzard. I mean it wasn't, but it was more snow.
Yeah, last week it was a lot more snow.
Just like candy. Now the song in my head.
That's okay. You can go. You have to go listen to it after we get off of this.
I know, right?
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
All
so
right.
if you
So
wonder why I'm sitting on the floor, it's because I like sitting on the floor, and it was just better for like my camera because I have a stand, but it was real awkward.
Girl, you know
yeah,
how we do.
we all know because you're short.
We're always comfortable.
Exactly. Yo, my fro, like my hair is growing so crazy. I keep getting notifications while we're on here.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm up here trying to turn down my other phone so we won't have feedback.
Look at
All
her.
right, so this is how we gonna do this.
I don't have no
All
coffee.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Facebook. Hey, y'all. I don't know who all is. I got two people viewing so far. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And so let me officially do this. So welcome to this special edition of According to Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
And let me bring Adrian in. Hey, Adrian.
Hey,
Hey,
girl.
lovelies. Hey.
Hey, good
All right.
morning.
Awesome,
Good
awesome,
morning.
awesome.
Good morning.
Good
So
morning.
for this edition of According to Sasha, I wanted to highlight my friends. This is my I have one more friend, which is Jamel, but this is my group, my core, my team, outside of my family. You guys, you are it. And so surprise, surprise.
Hey.
So everybody, so I told my friends, I said, look, I just want to do like a little morning chat. I want to chit chat with my girls and just, talk. They didn't know anything about what we're going to talk about, anything of that nature. So
No,
if it
we
seemed
were
like,
voluntold.
yeah, volunteer.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
Voluntold.
that's what
Voluntold.
happens. That's what happens when you have your crew, they always show up. So I am so glad for
Yes.
that. And yeah, you guys are awesome. So, but what I want to do is highlight you guys. This is what today is all about. So
Aw.
we always
Oh, we like you
talking
too.
about we're always talking about sisterhood and everything. And so this is one good example of sisterhood right here. Some people call it a tribe. Adrian called us the board.
Y'all the
So
boy, baby.
the board. So here is my tribe, my board. These are the people, these are the ladies who I go to. We all in business. We all are friends. We all know each other's struggles and challenges, personal and business wise, and everything. And Candy and Adrian, they always hold the belt, especially Adrian. Adrian got the whip. Adrian
I'm
had the whip
weak.
on me. Candy might have a belt, but slowly move, but she gonna hit you with it. Jackie, she's like across, she's a little balanced, but she'll get me
I
too.
am.
And so
I
when I
am.
need a good kick in my tail, Adrian's the one. If I need a little swift wisdom and a little input, we're like, Sasha, that's Candy. And Jackie's like, well, sis, how do you feel about it? Because I
Yeah.
believe And I'm like, you know what? Hey, we're all transparent. We all know each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
I'm also the fighter. Like we be ready to
Oh,
fight.
I
yeah.
think my role got a little bit better with y'all.
I
I
know.
don't know.
Y'all
I
used to
feel
fight
like
like
Candy
that.
gut punches me on the. I feel like Candy gut punches me on the regular. I don't know.
So you get it
That's
straight
funny.
up.
I get it straight, no chaser.
Right. But I love you guys. But we all are doing our own thing. And so I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to introduce each and every one of you to my Facebook crew. And we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube Live, we're on Facebook Live. And
Awesome.
so we are doing this thing. But I just wanted to kind of, do this with all you at one time. And also to do a little segue to my show that's coming up. I have my new series,
Yay.
podcast series starting on February 3rd, which is going to be
Yes.
Conversations. So that is going to be
Sasha.
the interviews that I do. I have some amazing people lined up. But I'm booked all the way to April, you guys. So
Awesome.
did I go to May? No, I have
We
not.
like winning.
Yeah, so I'm taking May off. I'm gonna start season 2 in June. So
Look at her, y'all, with a season 2.
that's I
Listen.
have people lined up for season 2.
Golly.
So I'm starting off on Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Arthur Burris, and he has his new amazing app that he's launched called Portero. I hope I pronounced
Okay.
that correctly. It's Portuguese for concierge.
Oops.
That's the only thing y'all
I
gonna know.
like that.
Yeah, that's all you're gonna know. If you want, listen to anything else, you gotta tune in Thursday,
We
8
speak
o'clock p.m.
Portuguese.
Eastern Standard Time right here. We'll be live streaming on StreamYard, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and I'm also recording the podcast for Spotify. And you guys on
Awesome.
Spotify today too. So,
Awesome.
Hey.
so I'm gonna go around the room. I'm gonna start with Adrienne. This is Adrienne
Hey.
Thomas. This is the I don't even know. She is phenomenal. She's like one of the board directors. But she is a boutique owner. She has Crystalis Boutique, is an online store, and she's also a wonderful model. Oh my gosh, I have an inner model in me, right, you guys? I don't know if y'all ever noticed.
Yes.
So there's an inner model, but Adrienne is that one to be like, I'd be looking at her like, oh my gosh, like if you can like me too. I'm ready to go and hit a runway somewhere, whatever. I don't know how
Ma'am.
to walk in those shoes, but I'm gonna make it happen. But yeah, so she has, she's a photographer too.
Really?
Photography, yes. So, Adrienne, if you'd like to tell the people more about yourself and how they could find you, go ahead. It's your spotlight.
Listen. So, I believe first of all, giving God everything, and in turn, He gives me so much more. So, initially, it started out as a parent company called Within the Chrysalis, and everything that God has already put in you, He's going to use. Everything you need is already within you. So the parent company is called Within the Chrysalis, and from that, He's like, okay, baby, I'm going to take you a couple different places. So, as a model, that is a business. I get paid for that. I need all my coins. So my model name is AD Rains, and so I am on Instagram and on TikTok and on Facebook for right now. And from that, we morphed into having a online plus size boutique. And I'm plus size right now, but my straight girls, my straight friends is looking at me like, where my clothes at? Where my clothes at? So that's coming. That's on the horizon. But I started with what I know. I've been a plus size model for about 7 to 8 years. And love it, love the runway, love meeting new people and being able to network in that arena. And from that, I met my husband, who was a photographer. I met him on the New York runway. And listen, when God sets you up, He positions you to be found. Okay. So I learned photography from him. And so it's been a journey. He taught me so many different things about photography. And As part of his legacy, I didn't want to have his camera equipment and not use it. So now I am a photographer. Um, I initially started doing photography just for my boutique because I know the brand and aesthetic that I want to project. And a lot of my models, if not all of my models, are regular women. These are women that I work with, women that I know, and they're just so polished and well put together. And so I've been able to hone those skills with women that I know. And so, Sacha, you're not out the loop. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Okay.
You can find me on, we have thechrysalisboutique.com. And we have new drops coming out and some old things that are there. You know, we're going to be doing some discounts and things of that nature. And like I said, from that, I have stepped over into being a photographer, and I just wrapped up a phenomenal 12-hour photo shoot with a friend of mine who is an author, another Black female who's an author, and she's just signed a 4-book series deal, which I'm so proud of her. And so today I will be editing her photos so I can get those back out because her book release is coming. I want to say it's coming right before Valentine's Day, and it's hot and steamy. And, you know, it was just amazing to have a photo shoot, and the whole production team was nothing but Black women. And it was absolutely positively amazing. And I had to tell her, I said, photo shoots don't usually go like this. Somebody's always late. But it was phenomenal, and it was amazing because in this team this was a first for all of us. Her first time doing, doing photo shoots, and the makeup artist and hairstylist, this was her first time working on a project like this, and it was actually my first time doing something this big. So I'm excited. So I also have a photography page. It's called Tie Fly Photography. Right now, it's only on Instagram, and I'm working on my website to publish some of my other work. And so this was the unveiling of that. So thank you so much, Sacha. But you can also find me on AD Reigns on Instagram, a.d.reigns, REIGNS. And I have Facebook as well. And I'm working on TikTok. Sasha's going to work with me on this TikTok thing. I got a lot of things going on. And so many other things. So I'm what we call a serial entrepreneur. I'm not going to put any limits on God and what else he wants to do with me. There's some other things that he's birthing in the spirit. And I'm so proud and blessed to be a part of this collective of strong women who are go-getters. We have things to do and kingdoms to conquer and marketplaces to be in. And so I'm just elated to be a part of this group. So thank you, Sacha.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So just to let you guys know that I do have a co-host, and his name is Taz. So he said, "Good morning, everybody." I just don't know. I got a treat sitting right here at the table. I could have blocked him up, but I knew he was going to be barking there too. So I don't know why he just went to the kitchen trying to bark, looking for treats. I have the treats right here. So, but anyway, I think next time I'll lock him up. But so I just threw one in the kitchen real quick, like just.
Oh, Taz, he just.
But as you know that like I said, this is my group of women. So just listening to Adrian right now, so do you understand like the power it is to have people in your section in your life, and those who can just feed into you feed into each other. And one thing that Adrian said one time, we was at dinner, and and so when you said about being a serial entrepreneur, and the one thing about that, it brought me to a conversation that we had, and you said that we were talking about how we can do so many things, right? And I was just like, sometimes people can say, "Oh, you're doing too much, but you have brought up a good reference, and you said, if God created us in His image, and when He created the world, in those 7 days, He was multitasking. He was doing this, he was doing that and everything. So if we're created in His image, then we already have that gift of multitasking. And because we're creating His image, so why not? And I was just like, oh my gosh, I had never looked at it from that perspective. And so I'm saying, you know what? It makes sense. But I also add that when we're doing all our good things and being serial entrepreneurs, is that we finish those projects and
Yes.
go to the next. While you're
Yeah.
wrapping up one, you could be developing another. And then one of those things that I think is really good too is when we are, have so many ideas. I mean, some of us just, you're multifaceted. You have so many ideas, you have so many skill sets and everything. You could just tap into everything. I like to call it, like, for me, y'all know, I got my hands in everything.
Yes.
Anybody on Facebook can see, like, oh, Sasha just pouring out all this stuff. And I tell people, people will ask, like, what is it that you do? And I'm like, oh, I got to roll out the scroll, like,
What don't I do? That's the question.
what do I do? And I always like to start saying, I'm the Jill of all trades. And so when I look at that and, as I roll out things now, I'm like, okay, as I'm rolling out one, I'm processing the other, developing the
Mhm.
other. So when that one
Mhm.
comes out, the next thing you know, in a few weeks, the other process is going to come out. So in that way, you have finished projects along the way, and you just keep flowing. So that's one of the things that I've learned over the years, and learning how to kind of balance myself when it comes to everything, because I got my business, but I can also do taxes. I could do so many different things, that I like to call it my pots of oil. So I have my pots of
Ah, that's
oil
good.
that I can pull
Mhm.
from at any time, but then I have my passions. So then on top of that, I'm here now as public speaker, podcast host. I'm about
Mhm.
to be an author, just like you said, the lady that have the book coming
Yeah,
out on the 15th. My release date is on the 15th of February
that's
too.
awesome.
I know. Yeah, so I had to do that to keep myself accountable. I was just like,
You,
look, let me set a date to this thing because
thank
we
you.
might sit there for a whole
Accountability.
other month.
And
And
your
it's,
tribe keeps you accountable. Like, where you at? What's
mhm.
popping?
Yep, it
What's
ain't.
what? Why you
Y'all
keep backing this up?
Mhm.
Yep. And so and I'm glad you're here. So I'm going to go ahead. And if anybody out there who's watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I know some comments can come through, some can't, but I definitely know the Facebook comments can come through. So if you are out there, hi, Bianca. If you are out there and you have questions about, running an online store, a boutique, photography, or even if you have an interest in becoming a model,
Yes, definitely.
Adrian is the plug. And I did tag, she can actually, I mean, she's real. She's transparent. She is, she can tell you.
Yeah, listen, we're not gonna have you out here looking crazy in these streets. It's enough craziness out here already.
Right. And then a lot of times too, just to kind of, plug into the whole model thing, some cases, unless you are found and they want you to be a part of their agency, it is an
You gotta do
investment.
the work.
You
Yes.
got to do the work.
Mhm.
You have to sometimes pay these fees to get involved. Or, even if it's a free thing, like Richmond, have the fashion week and things. So, you have fashion weeks or whatever. And if it's something that you get in, but you still have to buy your own clothes, you still have to,
Mhm.
do everything to get that going for yourself.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
just to understand the ins and the outs. It's just not, the easy thing, because you don't have that contract. Somebody until you do it, and those are the opportunities right there that you can get involved in, so you
Yeah.
can be found to gain that contract. To get that money. And walk in those
It's so
major.
many facets. It is so many facets to the modeling, and that's gonna be a whole nother segment.
Uh
But
huh.
so people don't get taken, but there's always opportunities and there's different types of modeling that you can get into. There's so much more than what it used to be. So I thought I would only be a hand model.
Uh huh.
God said, no, I'm gonna use all of it, you
Hmm.
know. But not only that, but he wants me to pass along the wisdom that I've gleaned over
Hmm.
the years.
Mhm.
Because I actually didn't start modeling till I think I was 40.
Wow.
You broke into that scene too. Oh my
Ma'am. Before then,
God.
I was a mechanic.
Oh my gosh. If anybody's ever following Adrian on Instagram, scroll down, because you're gonna see her just be like,
You should see
bam,
some
right there.
food because
Woo,
we eat around these parts. We eat.
But what's so crazy is, like, I always say I'm an inner model. So Yeah, here's a little something. I love believing. I believe in being transparent. At a given time. And so when I was younger, I don't know if my mom's watching it out, but hey, mom, if you are, I'm not putting you on blast. Anyway, when I was younger, I aspired to be a model. I wanted to be a model. I was all in the Ebony magazines, looking at the covers and the ads and the layouts and stuff. I was playing. My mom at the time was a Mary Kay consultant, so I was getting her makeup, playing her makeup and stuff, doing everything, looking at the photos, and so I could do this eyeshadow like this or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to be a model. So at the time, and I'm not trying to date myself, but anyway, they had Barbizon. School of Modeling was out there, right? So I would always go and just sign up and get all the mail come to the house. But at that time, models weren't what we see now. They were
They didn't
always
look like us.
tall or
Mhm.
slender, and I was short, 5'4", wanted to be a model. And so that just kind of shut that out right then and there. So,
Listen, I've seen
but
some fierce models like 5'1", just kill
mhm,
it.
yeah,
Just kill it. Jeannie
yeah,
Ferguson, she is what we call a petite model.
okay,
She is she's an independent model, but she also she's done some ads for Ashley Stewart.
wow,
She is. I believe Jeannie's under 5'5". If she not, she gonna hurt me. She throws shoes. She's a model coach as well, and that's
Okay.
another thing when you're getting into this. There's people in the industry that can coach you to to um, to be better and to hone your craft, and model boot camps. And I'm doing a model boot camp here in Yorktown in April sometime.
okay, okay,
Um, to teach some young ladies, how to work the runway and, etiquette and all that. It's so much more to
mhm,
modeling than just being on the runway. You can be in front of the camera. You can be, I've seen people do the car shows,
mhm,
so many different types of modeling you can get into, but you have to hone your craft just like anything else
mhm,
you put your hand to.
mhm.
Do your due diligence, do the work, do the
Yeah,
work.
that's wonderful.
Save you
That's
some
wonderful.
money.
Awesome. So once again, everybody, if you want to find Adrienne, like I said, she is tagged on this post if you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube and Twitter, I'll go back and add the information, and I will definitely add it on Spotify in the description that everybody can come find you guys. But I'm going to move
Awesome.
on to the next one, which is
Yes.
Candy. Candy King.
Hey.
Candy.
Value your dream with
See?
Candy King. She
Can I get a
is.
song after me? Just
I
saying.
gotta think of a song for you. But Candy, when she did the whole "Buy Your Dream," and I'm gonna explain to you guys what the "Buy Your Dream"
Yes.
is. It just rained, ever since she did that, and I was like, "Oh, Candy King, Buy Your Dream, Candy King." I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a jingle." You know me, I'm always thinking, thoughts always rolling, and but Candy is a real estate agent, and she is excellent in what she does. She sold me my first house, and she sold my first house. But you know what, you guys, she was a first time real estate agent. I caught her in her first week, first month. We're
Yeah.
going around looking at houses.
First out the
And
gate,
then,
yes.
so my joke with her is, because I was her first client, she understands how you could find grant money, for housing and all
Yes.
this other stuff and different programs. And that's how seasoned she is now. But when we started out, I was like, I didn't get any money. She said, "Well, you walked away from the table, didn't you, with some money with a check?" I said, "Yeah, I
Yeah, you did leave the check.
but she worked hard. She worked hard to make sure that I was well taken care of through the process. And and the people that she worked with, oddly, I don't know if he's watching, but if you ever see this podcast, because it's gonna be, Oddly is here. So Oddly was the loan officer.
Hey,
He
Adley.
is I don't know if he's still doing it or not, if he's still in the business, but he is
Yes, he is.
awesome. He will work with you. He will hold your hand. He not only holds your hand, he would tell you where you're wrong at too. He keeps it real throughout the process, but he makes sure that you are ready for what you're ready for. And
Mhm.
so with Candy and then with Oddly working as a team with me, sometimes I could be a little hard head or I could be too anxious sometimes, but they kept me grounded. And I walked away with a nice house and for my first time. And Candy, I was her first time client and all those good things.
Mhm.
Honestly, embrace the home loans. And so, it was wonderful. But my joke with her is, I didn't walk away with grant money. I didn't have it. but now she is teaching first time home buyer classes, and
Mm.
she has this information for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Candy talk. So Miss Candy, you have the floor.
Well, hello, everybody. Hello. I'm gonna tell you the firm I work for. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about myself and my story on how I got into this.
Mhm.
Of course, my name is Candy King. I am a realtor with Melanie Matthews and Associates. And I'm gonna tell you how I got through this. I was a single mom. So, and I was like, and I have a child. I said, how I'm gonna make a future for this child. Of course, I was working a job, but we all know the job can let you go whenever they
Mhm.
feel like it. And then you sitting there looking crazy, like, what am I gonna do? So I went to real estate school. I actually went to Alpha Real Estate School. I actually worked a 40-hour, well, it was more like 50-hour a week job. Plus, went to school. I would go to school in the morning, and then I would go to work that night. As soon as I left the class, I'd go straight to work and work to like um, 9 or 10 o'clock that night. Now,
Mhm.
of course, I had to retain all this information that I'm learning because I took a cram course, and it was a 3-week cram course. And then getting your license. It's if anybody's ever tried, it's a lot. It's a lot of work because they teach you all of this stuff, and then you have to recall it. But anyway, I managed to pass the class the first time because you have to pass the class to sit for your license.
Mhm.
So I passed the class, and then I was like apprehensive on taking the final test to get my license. And I waited for about a month because I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But I had to put my big girl pants on and went on and took my license, passed it the first time. So then I have my license. But the reason I got into this is, like I said, for my trying to leave a legacy. That God
Yeah.
says inheritance for your children and your
Yes.
children's children.
Mhm.
And I don't want to leave debt. I don't want to leave debt behind. I want to leave them something that they can use to help them prosper and get better.
Mhm.
And I've always liked helping people. So I will do my best to help out anyone. But how I started before I got my license, I was a investor. I started buying properties, and I'm a single mom. I ain't had no money. You
That
know,
part.
we don't have no money. We be making robbing Peter to pay Paul and
There you
trying to make
go.
things work. Your kids come in.
Absolutely.
Your kids come and say, "Mama, ain't no food in the refrigerator." You know how we go in there and make a whole meal, and they be like, "Wow."
Ma'am.
Say
So,
so.
within that same field, I had to do the same thing with that. So I purchased my first. Then the first house I purchased. This was years ago. You can't do that now. Well, you
Ah,
may can.
there she
First
is.
house I purchased was a four bedroom, 2.5 bath. It had a deck on the back of it and a garage. I
Mhm.
purchased the house for $95,000. Okay, and then I rented the house out. So then this other opportunity came up, and I was like, okay. Um, so I saw this townhouse. And I was like, okay, that's not a bad townhouse. Let me see if I can do it again. I ain't had no money because what I'm getting is taking care of the house. So it's taking care of the house. Giving me a little extra income. So I ended up going and pulling equity out of the property because I bought
Mhm.
it for 95, but
Come on
then the
now.
market kind of shot up. So the house was worth over 250,000. Now mind you, I bought it
Mhm.
for 95. So I wouldn't pull the equity out and paid cash for the next property. And so
Come
on.
on, ma'am. Come on through, ma'am.
So I say it to say, don't. There are ways to get money out there to do things that you want to do. If you want to be an investor, you can. There's different opportunities out there. If you're buying your first home, there's a lot of opportunities out there as well. A lot of people think they have to have um, a lot of money to
Mhm.
purchase a home. Um, right now, that may be somewhat true because of the way the market is.
Mhm.
Is what we call a seller's market right now.
Mhm.
So um, sometimes we can't get the sellers to pay closing costs and stuff to there, but there's still first time home buyer programs out there. There's still um, grants and stuff that you can qualify for. Now, some of this is income based, some of it is credit based, income and credit based. But I
Mhm.
will say this as everybody say, well, what is the perfect score? Get your score as high as it can possibly be. Okay. If you're doing an FHA loan, they require a 620 at least. But when you go to the lender to give it, a lot of lenders require higher than that. So it's always better for you the higher your credit score.
Mm-hmm.
That's the less money you have to put out.
Mhm.
Because it is my bag of tricks, as Sasha likes to call it. I used to be I think for about a year, maybe 2 years, I used to be a loan officer as well. So 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 I know a little bit about that side. I try to stay out of that right now because I like this side where I go and meet the people. I like
Mhm.
helping people, walking them in the houses, looking at the houses. And well, Sasha can vouch for this.
Yeah.
When we were doing her home, we would go to certain places. I was like, "This ain't it. Let's go."
Yep,
or,
or
or we look around. You might like. I was like, "Well, wait a minute. Let's look at us. You see this stuff over here in this neighborhood? You see all these cars in the yard. You
Mm-hmm.
see all these
Mhm.
people walking around. Do you really want your young child coming home to this? And you at work? You know, I love being a realtor. It is my passion.
Yes.
I like Sasha says, I am a certified VHDA trainer for them. So I know their program. There's FHA out there. I know the FHA, VA. I do a lot of veterans loans too. With a veteran, you can get qualified with no money down. There's conventional loans. There's all kind of different programs out there, and each one has its own different set of qualifications that you have to qualify for. But I
Mhm.
work with a great team of lenders. As Sasha mentioned, Mr. Lewis is one of them, Ollie Lewis for Embrace Mortgage. Um, and we all work as a team. So while y'all are home sleeping and stressing out what I'm going to do this, we up working behind the scenes, working for y'all, making sure that everything works out perfectly. And I'm gonna be a little bit honest. Yeah, we do got to get in your business for a little bit of time, but we're doing it for your own. We're doing it for your own good. Sasha, though, because her and I would have talks. Why I got to do this? I was like, girl.
I think the one part that I just had to kind of really grasp to is when we were on that final leg of everything. And then when you couldn't like when you when
Mhm.
you go through that process, when they tell you you can't spend money, you have to, what's in your account needs to be in your account, because they will constantly do, pull your statement. They'll constantly answer because they want to make
Mhm.
sure that your money is there. And I'm just like, I can't, what? And it was like almost Christmas time. And I'm like, what?
Oh.
So I think what we ended up happening, I got paid for something. So I got a check for something. So I was like, okay, well, at least I got this money. And everything that's right there in that bank stays in that bank. And all I had,
Mhm.
and I could only work off of what I had in my hand, because I couldn't, I still had to keep that account in that standing.
Mhm.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, Ollie can attest, and also he also mentioned HR cap can assist with credit housing counseling, and it's free of charge. So if
Mhm.
anybody, in the notes and in the comments too, you guys, if you want to look at the comments, if you click on your comment box to the right of the screen, you can see the Facebook comments. Jasmine said hi. Candy, she's like,
Hey,
hi,
Jasmine.
Hi, Jasmine.
mommy. And Ali also said, don't establish any new credit during the process. And
Absolutely.
and it's crazy because when I went through the process, even to because Otley was really, he was, I think I was Otley that I was talking to at the time in the beginning of the process, and you too, Candy, and y'all was talking about that debt to income ratio.
Mhm.
Yes.
And for me, because I, still had student loans showing and everything, it was just like, oh, in order for you, you can't. go and get this house because your debt to income ratio, because of the amount,
Mhm.
my student loans were good standing and everything, but it was that value of the student loans. So it was like either you go back to school or you just gonna have to wait. So I opted in to go back to school because I wanted to get, because I wanted to get my house. And so because like for me it was it's always a good accomplishment when you end up having assets and you have something that's in your name that is your own. And at the time I wanted to, like my daughter is always in the forefront of what I think about when I'm doing. I'm always thinking about her as well. And she was in high school. She was going to graduate from high school and going to go to college. And I was like, wait a minute, I know it was a goal of mine to show her that we can do this while she's still young. And so that was like a part of legacy building for me. So it was
Yes.
important. So I said, well, if I got to go back to school, which I wasn't really trying, because after my bachelor's, I was like, look, I'm done. But it was so funny because somebody was always like, you're going to go back to school. You're going to get your master's in marketing. You're going to do this and do that. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Ray Johnson, if he's listening. So anyway, so, I still remember that I was like kicking myself in the butt because I'm like, dang, he did say that. It was actually Pastor Ray Johnson. Sorry. And so I went back to school, ended up getting my master's in management. And so I could get my house. And then I got the house, and then I also showed my daughter something at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can accomplish this. Yes, because I was a single mom, and growing up and with not to say growing up, but growing up as a mother, I should say, because that does happen. You do grow as a mother. And
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
I was 23, 24 when I had my daughter. And so, growing and having these challenges and raising her and growing up together in a sense, because like I said, you grow as a mother, as your child grow, you're growing too. And that was like a goal of mine, was for us to have our own home, not to just rent, but I wanted
Yeah.
have my own house, but also for my daughter to experience that too. So she experienced it, her last year of high school. Then she graduated, went to college. So, she's still, when she came back home after she graduated from college for a little while, and then she's back out doing her thing. But she at least had that experience at home. But, being away at school in Richmond, but she saw mommy did it. And so that was a big point. And then, so that's why I was like, just going through that process was it's so tantalizing, but at the same time, it's rewarding. It's very rewarding. So thank you, Candy, so much for holding my hand, spanking me with the belt at the same time, just going
Listen.
through the process. And oddly, you was amazing too. And, and it's like I said, it's good to have people who are not just about making that dollar, that
Yeah.
commission out of it, but they really are sincere and genuine about making sure that you are ready for this. And then when you are ready, we're here to help you to get that, you know, that asset to accomplish that goal for you. And so, and it's awesome to have that. And so I am so grateful. And once again, she's part of my crew.
Yes.
That's my crew. That's my go-to. So when I'm ready to get my next house, she'll be able to give me some
You're
grant
gonna
money.
candy.
She'll be like, sometimes you go ahead and get this house right because it's got this grant money
I'm gonna
attached
Well,
just
to
I'm gonna say this real quick. So when Candy mentioned legacy, um, because we all have, I don't know if Jackie's a single mom too or has been, we all glean from each other, and when we talk about not only leaving a legacy for our children, um, also teaching them the things that we learn. So in that, when her daughter Jazz gets ready to do her purchase of her new home, she already has the foundation laid.
Mhm.
I didn't know that when my son purchased his home that the foundation was really laid, and he was able to go and get a house far better than the one that I was able to purchase. Um, and he did it on his own, but that came with teaching those principles, not waiting until he got to be an adult, but laying the foundation. Let's talk about credit. Let me show you what interest rates do and how that really affects your money. So we're not only preparing our children to leave a legacy for that we're going to work hard and get all this stuff and then leave it to you, and then and not give you the education to maintain the thing that we built. So we're this spirit of entrepreneurship that we all have. We're not only just, God never gives you something just for you. He gives it to you specifically for other people. That's your gift to the world. So the things that we're learning, and we're invested in not only each other and in our children, but in seeing the success of other people. And I think that's what makes it so rewarding. Is I love to see my girls win. I love it even more when I see the men win. You know what I'm saying? And they can get out, and iron really does sharpen iron. But just given that initial investment, we're invested in people. I invest in things, but I invest in people, so that they can win and pass it on and glean it forward and create the legacy. So, we're not being bound by other stuff.
And I love
it. My services ain't free, but I'm gonna set you free. I'm just saying.
I like it. Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah. Adrian's talking about pots of oil here, and I'm a firm believer because, I think all of y'all have heard me talk about the pots of oil, because I say, you should always have more than one pot of oil. And if you don't understand what that means, there is in the Bible where it talks about pots of oil.
Yeah.
But if one dries up for a little while, you got something else to fall back on. And I'll share a little bit of my personal testimony here. I was out of work for, I think, almost 3-4 years because I had to have knee operations. And then as soon as I healed from that, there go my ankle. They had to put something on my ankle, so they had to put a plate in my ankle. But anyway, besides all that, I'm up and walking now, so that's a good thing.
She runs.
But anyway, if I had not had other ventures that I was doing, because I couldn't work, I still had a mortgage to pay. I still had a child to feed. If you let her tell us, she go, yeah, we ate, but that's how our kids do. but anyway, we didn't starve. There was a roof over our head. Yes. There wasn't, notices coming in the mail that says the light's going to be turned off.
Come on now.
The cell phone stayed on. Nothing was cut off because I had other pots of oil. So, you can have your job and your side hustle. Make your side hustle an honest hustle. Go on and get your LLC.
Please be honest with it.
Do it legally so you can file this information on your taxes, because a lot of things that you do becomes a business write-off. Everybody say, well, let me get this side hustle, but you don't think about making it legit because you want to keep it under the table so Uncle Sam don't get your money. But let me tell you this, when you make that business legitimate, you can go and buy houses, you can go and buy cars in the business name, and you can establish your business credit. But if you can establish business credit, your personal credit got to be together as well.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Or I'm going to say this is so funny because, in transparency, my husband had no personal credit. And I'm like, I don't even understand that. I don't even understand that. It's nothing in your name. But he had business credit. You know what I'm saying? So you can establish it. There's ways and there's groups out here. I'm part of a group where they teach you how to establish your business credit. But being above board entitles you to so many different benefits. And the longer that I remember the first year that I did my business taxes, and Sacha is an amazing person. And I'm like, okay, so what can I do? And understanding, she made sure I understood all of my write-offs and what could happen and how to do it in proper order. There are a lot of free resources that we don't utilize. SBA.gov is free information.
Absolutely.
A lot of things that people charge you for, which is, I understand everybody need a hustle. But, to me, that's seed. If I give you the link and give you the wisdom or give you the information, it doesn't take anything from me. It makes that you have to work. But if you want to pay me to do it, I have no problem with that. But it's out there, So when you come above board, there are a lot of grants and business loans that you won't qualify for because you're still under the table. And guess what? When you're under the table, that means when they come for you and they want to sue you, they're suing you. They're not suing your business.
That's right.
They're coming for you. When Uncle Sam come for you, he's coming for you, not the business.
And he's
You know,
recovering
so
all.
you think you under that radar, you think you okay,
Yeah.
until he starts tapping your money and your house,
Mm-hmm.
your property and all that stuff. So it's nothing wrong with coming above board. And if you've been doing it for years, come on above board. There's so many more benefits, and you can win at this game called life and entrepreneurship, doing it the right way. You know, don't put yourself out there and then, you know, that side hustle is no longer, it's no longer legacy. You can't, that's not something you're going to pass on.
That's good.
You know, pass on some wisdom. That's all I can write.
I love that. I love that. And then from a tax perspective, since y'all put it out there, because even like with the IRS looks at it, you know, if you're doing something for, you know, so long, like 3 years, they give you 3 years. So
Man,
if you're actually claiming you're doing a business, they want to start seeing that income increase. Because after 3 years, if they don't see a change, they're gonna say, "Oh, no, you really got a hobby. This is
Yeah.
hobby income, not a business."
Yep.
So, and then also with, you know, everything that's been transpiring, you know, within the government and everything, they are looking at things a lot more this time. You know,
yep,
so you want to have all your ducks in a row. You want to have, you know, your business license, your LLC. You want to be making sure you're paying your state and federal taxes. You want to make sure that you file your income tax on, if you have a business, file it on time before March 15th, because they do send out the notices stating that you have a late fee,
yep,
$200, 260 or $210, something like that. And you know, so it's like you want to make sure that now going forward, I think with the whole pandemic, the PPP stuff, idle and everything, the way people were just kind of going after it, you know, it really made people on that federal side start looking at things a lot deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure you have all these things outlined. And
Yep.
oh yeah, and in Candy, Jasmine did say noodles. Y'all had noodles. Y'all ate. I'm so glad Kiari's not up here. I think she had to work last night. She was probably asleep. But you know, so this is phenomenal. So you know, this is why it's so important to have people in your life who are, you know, just as like-minded as yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just think it's amazing that I have you guys in my life. So Candy, let everybody know where they can find you.
I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. My Facebook one. Give me a second here, because you know Sasha know how I am. I can never remember this stuff. Facebook, you can find me Candy King dash by Your Dream. On Instagram, I am Candy King 17, and on LinkedIn, you can find me on By Your Dream Candy King. So,
So
but
see,
I
so
am
now,
out there. I do have. I'm currently running some ads on Facebook and LinkedIn, so you may see them out there. It's about first-time home buyers and new construction ads. I have that currently running. And you know, Sasha is my social media guru. I know she said, "When is this child ever going to get this right?" Because I be like, "Sasha, how do I do this? Sasha, how do I do that?" I be look, y'all. I be wearing these ladies out because Sasha, social media is not my thing because I don't like getting out in front of the camera. But I realize in this day and age, I've got to get in front of the
yeah.
camera. So I'm working on it. I'm working. I see. I'm here today, and I
yeah, no
look.
choice.
Normally I come kicking and screaming like, "Sasha, do I have to
Voluntold.
do this?" But I did
Voluntold.
it.
And it's so bad because it's like even when I did the workshop for Melanie Matthews and associates for y'all, you know, for social media,
Yeah.
teaching y'all how to do social media for real estate agents, and you know, so that was phenomenal and everything. But yeah, so now y'all see why I was singing that or saying I ain't singing, but you know, buy your dream Candy King. So I mean, all the information she just gave was so wonderful. But I'll also put her information out there too. And thank you so much for being here. So you know, this was practice for you. So now after today, you're a professional. We did it. So we got to hold hands around here. But we're going to make sure it gets done. Because I texted
And do.
everybody. I sent a group text and said, "Hey, ladies," I said, "I want to do a girls' chat this Saturday at 11 o'clock. you know, no, I was like, this weekend, so when can y'all do it? And so everybody synced in times. I was like, okay, 11 o'clock. And I'm so thankful that all of you were available and that you said yes. So
Now I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know you was gonna really do live. I thought we was just doing a run
See,
through.
Adrian.
Yo, I'm gonna be so transparent. I was like, all right, yeah, okay. We just gonna do a run through.
Yeah.
not, y'all know me.
This is your Kenny. Do you know what we talking about? I said, I don't know. I have no clue.
What's the topic? How I need to prep? What are we doing? Oh, we just doing a run through. That's what this is. Okay.
Look, this is what I told her. I said, we're going to show up. How about that?
That's all. Listen, that's all. I'm gonna be accountable. I'm gonna support.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah. And I didn't know what
funny.
we were going to do. I just want us to chit chat. But as I got off the phone with Candy this morning, and I was just like, maybe I should have a format. Because I was just going to say, hey, we just going to talk. So,
But that's what we do anyway.
yeah. So here
And
was the
so
format.
much comes out, and it's amazing, and we glean so much from each other, and like this is what we do anyway.
Yeah. And so, and it was
Just
just
with
like,
wine.
and it hit me. It was just like, just highlight your girls. Highlight your girls. Allow them, show people who they are. Because this is who you have in your life. This is your crew. And everybody's doing something amazing. I was just like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight.
That's what's up.
Surprise.
Let's get it.
So now we're going to move on to Miss Jackie.
Jackie.
Yes. So,
Look, I
Jackie.
got to preface one thing with Jackie.
Yes.
Look,
Jackie.
this child, look, I got to preface one thing with Jackie.
Oh Lord.
I love to hear Jackie sing. I mean, she would have me down on my knees.
Are we going to church? Let me go get my hat. Let me go get my hat and my Bible. Wait.
Yes. And Jackie, I know a lot of people who may be watching, even if you're watching on her page, you know her as formerly known as
A lot of things.
Galatia Rose. And now she is out with Just Jackie. And but this is one of my aces. This is one of my crew members. You know, we in it. And we met
I am
years
the one.
ago.
I am the hand she has to hold because
I'll hold her hand. But you know what, we get it done. And you hold mine too. So
Yeah.
we get it done. And and I am so thankful. It's like I'm thankful for everybody up here. I'm thankful for Jackie as well.
Yeah.
And so Jackie is, I know we've been talking about life and business and stuff, but she is also a business owner. And her business is music. She is an artist. And for everybody who's out there listening, and you are an indie artist, like actually you are an entrepreneur. And so a lot of people, and music is your product.
That's right.
You really have to look at it from that point, because if you do, you understand the why behind the music business. You understand the why behind why you have to do X, Y, Z to get yourself out there. So Miss Jackie. Hi.
Hi, friend.
Let the people know who you are, what you got working on, and you have a new project out.
I do.
You got your journal, the healing journey to healing out.
I know.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah. So
come on through healing.
Very important. I am Jackie. I did go by Phoenix, and then Galatia Rose, and now I'm just Jackie. That's a story within itself. I've been doing music for quite a bit. I am a singer-songwriter. I am originally from Alabama, because I gotta say, everybody's like, "You've been here too long." No, represent the L's.
Rep your Alabama.
Yes, Alabama. Roll Tide all day. Roll Tide roll all day. But yeah, like what I'm working on right now, I am really just like Sacha mentioned. I started a Facebook group called Journey to Healing. That's my baby right now. That's where I'm at. God has me in a place of healing. Just to be very transparent, I was married for 17 years, and now we've been separated for over a little bit over a year now. So we're going through that whole process of divorce. So I too am in the single mama club. So yes, I am a single mother. because I know Adrian mentioned that earlier. And so right now I am actually in a place of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, God had to, there's some things that I had to work through. I stopped singing for a long time. And Sasha was like, girl, let me tell you, I'm gonna need you to get back on the boats and let's get this thing back rolling. But I had to go through, work through my process of healing, work through my journey. Because when you are married with somebody that long and then, you have to walk away from it, you have to, it's so much stuff you got to learn. It's so much stuff you got to heal from. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I didn't want to release any anger music. I mean, it sells, but I wanted to be healthy. Um, so yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I am at a place of healing. I'm on this healing journey, this journey healing, and God has been really working through me, and I've been doing some things. I actually did release a single last year. It's called If I. It is on
Okay.
Spotify, anywhere you can find music. It's on there. It's under Just Jackie. If I under Just Jackie. Um, and what else? And it was so funny that you mentioned legacy because and I just started blogging. So that's and I am also working on a book. I don't want to give a lot of it a lot of too much information away because I
Right,
am that
right.
person. I need a deadline because this thing it'll be
Ma'am,
like yeah, I I am she that need a deadline. She is me. I am that person. Um
I got you.
Yes.
so I am she that needs a deadline. But but that's what I'm working on right now. I am back in the lab working on music. Um
Yay.
yeah, and so and I'm proud of the project that I'm doing now. I released my first full project in 2015. And so the project that I'm doing now is these are songs that I wrote actually in 2020 when everything was going on, when all hell
Mm.
was breaking loose. These are the songs that I wrote. So this next project is really it's really allowing y'all in my heart and in my closet, in my prayer closet, and all that
Come
things. So
on
I'm proud
now.
of that. I'm proud of
Mhm.
that. But the one thing I do want to say, when we was talking about legacy, and I've been really dealing. God's been dealing with me on legacy and leaving a legacy for my son because I do have a 14-year-old son, and so that is why I've been intentionally going through this process of healing so that he can heal
Come
properly
on.
and to
Come
carry on,
on.
so he can carry on that legacy of healing, so he won't repeat the generational curse of of being broken of or whatever. So that is why I am where I am right now. And I had to sit back and sit down and go through this process. And let me tell you,
Ma'am,
Chad,
we're
some
going to
days
have
are
a
better
couple
than
more of
others.
these.
Yeah, let me tell you, some days are better than others. Some days I be like, oh, smite him, almighty smiter. And then some days I want to pray. Some days I be like, Lord, whatever. But the one thing I did learn on this journey is it's okay to be selfish.
Yes.
It
Ma'am,
is
yes.
okay to be selfish when you're
Mhm.
healing. And
Yeah.
I know, and people
Come
may
on.
be mad when I say this, but I feel like in the church, we press forgiveness so hard. And forgiveness is okay, but you have to take that moment to walk through your own healing,
Hmm.
to walk through your own process and forgive yourself. It's hard to forgive somebody else when you haven't
Ma'am,
forgiven yourself.
ma'am. And I'm going to just say this a lot of times because when I give my full testimony, I promise you,
Yeah.
forgiveness is daily.
Thank
It's
you. It is
not
a
a it's not
process.
a it's not a one trick thing where you say it
It's
and
absolutely
it's
not.
done. I remember this a friend of mine put me on to this movie that she's like, I can't believe you haven't seen that. And it was The Shack. And
Ah,
there's a point in the
Yes.
movie where, ma'am,
yes,
ma'am,
that is my movie. Yes,
where you have to put that on the altar daily.
every day.
Mhm.
That you, not only the forgiveness of the person or who you have ought against or they have ought against you, but just daily
Yeah,
um yourself and that offense,
exactly, exactly.
and have full transparency. And I think what I love about, because I did the same thing with my son when I lost my mother. It was important for him to see me heal
That's
and to
right.
walk through that,
That
because our children, they see the injury,
that
they see the result of the
They do.
injury, but they don't see the process of the healing.
say it
And we do
again.
our
Yeah,
children so much a disservice by not inviting them into our journey of healing, so that when
absolutely,
they have to go through something,
absolutely.
because you may not always be accessible, but let mama show you how this is how we walk through things. And
That's
it's
right.
different, like you said, baby, listen, it's different every day.
It's
Mm-hmm.
different
Some
every
days,
day. Yeah, and you
some
have to
days,
learn how to grieve. You have to learn how to
man,
grieve in a healthy way. And I was just talking to this young lady about it. You have to learn how to grieve in healthy ways because it teaches them how to grieve in a healthy way,
yes,
especially when you have boys. Because society tells
ma'am,
boys that it's not okay to cry, it's not okay to feel
Yes.
your emotions, it's not okay to weep, it's
Preach.
not okay to it, and they tell it, it makes them feel like they're emasculated if they feel this way. So with my
yep,
son, he's seen the good, he's seen the bad, he's seen the ugly,
Mm-hmm.
he's seen it all. You know, there have been times where I had to go back and apologize to him for
come
venting
on,
about his father in front of him. You
come
know,
on,
and that's what healthy healing looks like. I am at that and I really did have to I had to get to I had to get to a certain place. And so now that I'm at that place, now I feel like I can release these songs. Because let me tell you something.
yes,
Because some of
come
the
on,
songs
it's
I wrote,
healing.
yeah, some of the songs I wrote, I just can't release because that wasn't, but the other songs, they tell a story, and I wanted I and the Lord told me I couldn't release these until I went through that process.
Yeah,
And
Mm-hmm.
so I am, like I said, I'm on this journey of healing. I started this Facebook group and I wanted to make it open, but Holy Spirit told me to make it private because of some of the things that
yeah,
people will
yeah,
share. They need a space to be vulnerable. They need a space, to be
yeah.
transparent. And so that's right now. That's my baby. Like I said, I'm still writing. I know I go. Everywhere I go. I haven't been Phoenix in like 10, 12 years. Phoenix. I just take it. I take it. But I am still writing. I'm still writing. I'm still working on different projects and different things like that. But like right now, the thing that I'm working on the most right now is walking through this journey of healing and
Yeah.
helping other young ladies. Because
Yeah.
over this year, I've ran into so many young ladies who are going through who are
Hmm.
walking through this journey, or they've been walking for a while. They just started, or they walking through it, or
Yeah.
whatever. And everybody's journey is different. Nobody's journey is the same. That's something I had to learn as well. But I'm in a good place today. So
At my so Lord, thank you.
hmm
And this is what I love about being able to do this. So my husband's name was Tiger, and a
hmm
lot of people who know him just thought his name was Tiger because he loves tigers. But his name was actually an acronym.
mm.
Today, your gifts allow healing.
I love
Mm.
that.
When I tell you the man was brilliant, he knew what he was doing.
hmm
The gifts that you have on the inside of you will help cultivate your healing when you go through things, if you allow it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Within the chrysalis,
Absolutely.
everything you need is inside of you.
hmm
Your gift of
Absolutely.
song is going to bring healing not only to you, but to those who hear it. And even the things, and I'm glad that you submit those things to God. You have to submit your gifts daily to God, because you'll use them out of season and it
There
won't
you
be fruitful
go.
to the person that's on the other side to receive it.
hmm
So you
Yes.
submit your gifts daily.
hmm
He can then
Absolutely.
bless it and use your gifts to bless somebody else. I have no doubt. I have never heard you sing,
hmm
but the human voice can take you to a place and can come
hmm
inside your spirit and heal those wounded places if you allow it, whether it is in song or in
hmm
word.
hmm
Your word is your seed.
That's right.
Your seed can be the healing that somebody needs, whether it's in their finances, Sasha, than taxes. Whether it's in their place of residence, Candy, they need a place to live. Your words provide healing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Your journey, the things that you go through are never for you. We all know that. But this is the thing. The devil will take your testimony and make you shameful to present it. Not, and you
That's
need to
so.
be aware and
Mm-hmm.
cognizant that by sharing your testimony, and it's full
Mm-hmm.
transparency, because I hate watered down testimonies. I'm a real
Amen.
chick. I'm a real chick. And sometimes you get some real from me. Okay. I love the Lord. We'll pray the walls down. We'll pray the walls down. But when
Mm-hmm.
it's time for me to give you that transparency, because I need your realness. I need you to
Absolutely.
know that what you went through, I feel.
Absolutely. And you
Because there's no
people,
transparency, there's no change
there you
if you
go.
can't
Yeah.
connect.
Yeah, and people need to hear
Mhm.
that, because and that's the key, because people need to hear, hey, I did this, I went through that. So that they can know they can come out on the other side, you know. But when we take our testimonies and we sugarcoat them, and what I'm about to say, I hope nobody gets offended, but when you sugarcoat them with scriptures, people want what's real, you know.
We
When
Right.
you
lose them.
sugarcoat stuff with scripture, you sugarcoat stuff with religion, it people are not being delivered. You need to tell them, hey, I wanted to cuss them out too. I wanted to, this
Listen.
is how I felt. And it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to be that way. But don't, what I tell people is don't get stuck there. It is okay to grieve.
Right.
It is okay to be angry. It's okay to be frustrated. But if you got to walk, and it's something the Lord, if you got to walk, if you got to crawl, if you got to belly crawl, if you got
Come on,
to
ma'am.
tiptoe, if you got to whatever, you got to crawl on your knees. Don't stop. Don't get stuck
Don't stop.
moving.
Movement.
Don't
Movement is so
stop
necessary.
moving. There you go. And the one thing the Holy Spirit built to me yesterday was, even if you stop, I'm going to stop right with you. And whatever pace you're at, we're going to keep that pace together, because God will
Yeah.
never
Mhm.
leave you nor forsake you. He's going to be right there with you.
Yes.
And God is so strong. God is so strong, and to walk through this process with you. God, God, if you got a cuss, you don't think God can handle that? Absolutely, He
Ma'am.
can.
Ma'am.
Absolutely, He can. God can handle every emotion that you feel. He can handle every all the frustration, all the anger. He can handle the bitterness, because we serve a big God, and there's no limits to Him. And I think I was reading this thing by Joyce Myers a while ago. When she said God understands where we are. Period. God understands where we are. God is not like man, where He knocks us, because we feel that. No, God understands. He understands right where you are. And He's right there with you when you're in that season, when you're in that situation. And again, if you need to stop, He gonna stop right there. He gonna sit right there with you in the lion's
Mhm.
den, and He gonna love on you. He gonna let you cry, and He gonna say,
Get
"You
it
ready
out.
now? You ready?
Mhm.
You ready?" He gonna shut the mouth of the lions, so you can sit in that moment and grieve. But if I had to say, because this is pulling on my heart now, be in your moment, feel your emotions, go through it,
Ma'am.
walk through it, bask in it, but don't get stuck. And take your mind
Co-sign.
off, take your eyes off the offender and what they did, because in the season that you're in right now, you got to be selfish. So you can't worry about what they're doing. You can't worry about where they move. And that was me. And it was another thing you said about being
Mm.
embarrassed and ashamed. When
Come on now.
I was walking through my problem, when this, and Sasha know, because I was on her couch. She's my counselor. I was on her couch many times. We started. We was in this journey
Ma'am.
together. In this journey, she had to talk me down. Like, sis, don't go over that house. Don't go over. Don't do that. We going. So, and that's what I'm saying.
Man.
You have to. You have to. This is a season where you. Oh yes, you gotta forgive. You gotta forgive. But if you don't forgive right now, it is okay. It is a process. Like Adrian said, it is a constant decision. When you are triggered, you guys say, "I gotta forgive. I gotta forgive me
Ma'am.
for being foolish for staying so long." But I was
Mhm.
embarrassed. I literally was ashamed, and I told God all the time, "I am ashamed. I am embarrassed." My sister in love, Crystal, I don't know if she's watching, but it was so many times I had to talk to her, and she's like, "Baby, don't be ashamed." She was like, "It is okay."
Mm-mm.
I shut everybody out. I the
Well,
only I,
but let me say this,
mm-hmm.
because God will take you through seasons where He needs you to He needs to reconcile you to Himself.
That's
And when
absolutely
you start seeing people drop off, or this one ain't calling as much, or God, listen, last year, I'm not even gonna lie, I call it my co-vacation. I was in my room for 2 weeks, and I promise you, I had a little inkling of COVID, lost taste for half a day.
Mm-hmm.
I took it for what it was. God said, I need to separate you. I need your attention. I used to think when my little brother would go to jail, I'm like, yo, how many times God, why you always there? Because that's the only place God can get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There will be
Yeah.
seasons of separation that are necessary for your development. There are seasons of darkness that God can only develop you in
Come
that dark.
on.
Because
Absolutely.
see, when you in the dark, you can't see nobody but him. You can't
Say
hear
so.
nobody but him. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But he not only does that, but he will bring people alongside to support the vision that he has for you and what needs to be developed in your life. So when certain people
Absolutely.
start dropping off, don't think it's strange. Okay?
Yeah.
He knows what needs to happen in your season. And like you said, I like that you said, take your time. People, and this is the thing, I love God. I love him with everything on the inside of me. Okay? We think that therapy is an aversion to prayer. It's not.
No, it's not.
It has to come in line with the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some things in the natural that you have to work out that, there's spirit, but then there's natural that you got to deal with. And some of the
That's
things that
right.
are happening to you are because you made some decisions in the natural.
Say so.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So you
Absolutely.
have to deal with that. And a lot of times the things that happen in the natural are only manifestation of things you allowed in your spirit.
Wait.
So you let the word minister to you in the spirit, but you got to go
Right.
undo that stuff in the natural or deal with the stuff, the natural consequences that you put out in the spirit.
And absolutely, you got to
So
deal with the consequences.
therapy and prayer, they are one.
Go hand
They
in
need
hand.
to come
Mhm.
hand to hand. I have a therapist who I absolutely love, and she's been my therapist for a long time.
Mhm.
And some of the things, and your friends are therapy. Your conversations are therapy.
That's right.
Okay? And everything's not going to be solved with scripture alone.
Absolutely.
Faith without works is dead.
It's
The works
dead.
is you going to therapy. The works is you saying, okay, I need to unlearn some of these behaviors that I've
There you
adapted in the
go.
natural, or I
That's
need to
right.
let go of some of these relationships in the natural that are not fruitful to me in this season. We don't like to be pruned. We don't like for things to be cut off from us because we've gotten used to it. But guess what? That stripping away is
Mm-hmm.
so that you can elevate. You got to drop dead weight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the premise behind my businesses has been my transformation from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And every time I think about it, or God always keeps bringing things back to my remembrance, or putting things in my spirit. Caterpillar has a lot of little legs.
Mm-hmm.
When they transform into that butterfly, they don't have all that.
Mm-mm.
They don't need all of that to fly. It's some things in this life or this season in your life that have to be dropped off of you in order for you to take flight.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's weight.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Your learned behaviors, weight. Generational curses, weight. Your mindset and perspective about things, weight. And you have to open yourself up to God and what he wants to do so that you can fly. And in your
Absolutely.
flight, you're going to minister to other people. He didn't make you not to minister to other people. And the things that we're going through individually are for other people.
Uh-huh.
So I have to
Absolutely.
process it properly.
That's
I
right.
have to get this. But in the midst of that, like you said, he gonna sit down and listen. God done saved a lot of people's lives with me in the last 2 years. He done saved a lot of souls. And I'm gonna tell you, the Holy Spirit that's on the inside of me has saved a lot of souls. The Holy Spirit is not a boyfriend, a side chick, a side dude. That's not who the Holy Spirit is, and we need to stop using the Holy Spirit like that.
Say so. Amen.
That
And
Holy
and like
Spirit said, listen, I greet God in the morning. Lord, I expect to see you. I greet the Holy Spirit. Hey, we slept together last night. How you doing? We all right? You kept me. You kept me.
Uh-huh.
What we doing today?
Uh-huh.
What did I do wrong yesterday?
Yeah.
Because your girlfriends ain't always gonna check you, because some of them are not your girlfriends. They want to roll with you because they see where you going. So
Say
their
that.
interest is only if you win. But when you losing,
They ain't gonna
where
be
you
there.
at?
Yeah.
When I
Yep.
tell you these two ladies, Sasha and Candy, when I tell you these, listen, my board ain't nothing to play with. Okay? Because they hold me accountable. Girl, what you doing? That's not what God told you.
Yeah.
You know, I got a girl, Paula P. When I tell you, these ladies gut punch me, but I'm that type of chick that you're going to have to gut punch for me to move. God know how to get you to move and the people
Yeah.
that's going to sharpen you. And
Mhm.
stop thinking that
Absolutely.
adversity is not iron sharpening iron. The people that God
Absolutely.
allows in your circle, in your sphere, that agitate you, get on your nerves, let them sharpen you because that's what they're doing so you go to your
Hmm.
next level.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
that's part of this entrepreneurship too. I don't want somebody that's gonna co-sign on everything that I do. These, I promise you, these
Hmm.
ladies do not co-sign on everything I do. Especially Candy. Especially Candy. Please
Hmm.
don't let that smile fool you.
Hmm.
She will gut punch you while smiling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Or she just smile.
if it had not been for her, I'm
Mhm.
glad of the ones that God allowed to fall off. Because when you start getting elevated in God's next season that He has for you can't have people that are flaky and sometimey and they want to pray with you when it's good and want to take flights and want to, meet at the restaurant and do all that other stuff. Baby, when we sit over here with these beans and franks, where you at?
Yep.
Where you at? You
Mhm.
know, I want those type of people in my tribe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That because this journey of entrepreneurship and life,
Mhm.
you can't do this alone.
Yeah.
And if you think that you can, you're not going to be here long.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people get misled in that I don't need nobody. No, I need God's appointed people
Hmm.
for my assignments.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You need community. You need
You
community.
do.
And that was so important during my process. Like God,
Mm,
like you said, and God knows who you need. There are some
Hmm.
people that there, if you are stubborn, like you said, Adrian said, I need to be gut punched, you know. But then but when you have gone through abuse, you may not need that.
mm,
You may need a gentle touch, you know.
mm,
And God knows who to bring in the season, in your season,
yeah,
God knows who to bring, man. And
yeah.
Sasha was that person for me. Like she really was that person. Because like I said, I almost physically died.
Come on
I
now.
spiritually died, and I mentally died. I had to deal with so many emotions. And it was
Whew.
something like Adrian said, you know, if you when we do things
Mm,
out of God's time, and when we're angry, you know, and when we're frustrated, we plant seeds, and those seeds produce bad and rotten fruit. You know, then we'll find ourselves going to people, and don't get me wrong, I vented about him to Sasha,
mm,
and some of the people in my circles, I needed that. But the one thing that they didn't do, like my sister-in-law, Lord Jesus, she's the prayer warrior. She'll fight. Crystal will fight. She's my fighter, but she be like, come on, she be wanting to fight and pray at the same time, you know? But
listen,
after she
that's that
But
listens,
gospel
you know,
gangster right
there
there.
you go.
yeah,
After she
sometimes you need
listens,
that.
you need that's what I'm saying. So after she would listen to me and be angry, you know, and we want to go box, then she like, oh, we can't do that. We gonna pray. Sasha, on the other hand, Sasha is like, hey babe. Sasha is like, Jackie, it's gonna be all right because you strong and and I need that.
Yeah.
And then I have other friends like they just listen because sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Sometimes
And
you
I
just need that. Yeah.
you just need that. And I have one good friend, and she's like my sister. Her name is Anita. And I remember doing my process before when everything was in it. The Lord told me sit laying on my floor in my home. It's just me and you now.
And
It's
sometimes,
just
baby, sometimes it's a season for that too.
there you go. He said it's just me and you. And that whole year of where I was and where this season right here, it's just been me. And he reminded me of that the other day. Okay, it's just me and you. I need you to get focused. And
Yeah.
so I remember her texting me, and she was like, the Lord said, I can't walk with you in this season. I have to take a step back. And I wasn't angry with her. I wasn't mad with her because it was confirmation for what the Lord had already said.
Mhm.
And during your season, when you're going, if you are in this season right now where you are healing, Go through
Yeah.
that process.
Yeah.
Go. I'm sorry. Everybody just messed. They want to message and call this morning. And so I
But you
ain't
know
talking.
what, Jackie?
D&D, D&D. Oh,
You know, God will lead you in certain directions, and then you have some friends that are along for the ride, and some people that are not along for the ride. But God gives
Absolutely.
you everything that you need, and if you just stay
Absolutely.
prostrate before Him, He will
come on now.
bring you through this. I know it looks like a dark tunnel. Trust me, I've been there. Like a dark tunnel, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to look
Mhm.
back this and be like, "Wow, how did I get through this?" But
Yeah.
it's only, and I'm going to say, but God.
Amen.
Mhm.
But you're going to come
Yeah.
through it because don't get upset if some of the people that you thought were your friends, you
Come on
thought that
now.
this is my girl, this is my dude, but they ain't there. That's
Yeah.
okay because God had them there for a certain amount of time, but they can't relate to you when God starts to elevate you. They can't go on that ride. They can't get them to go to that next station with you.
That's right.
They can't
Hmm.
go.
I was
God
And
is
that
listening
was
reaching
the
to
out
thing.
to His
Yeah.
hand
And
to take
and
you
that
to
was
that
the
next
thing.
station.
Yeah. In the beginning, I had all my emotions because
Hmm.
I am quick to cut. I am the one. I'm quick to cut people off. God knows. And my baby sister said, "Baby," she said, "Sis, you can't be like that." I said, "Whatever." But so and Sasha knows because even in my 17-year marriage, there were times, and this is what I loved about Sasha. There would be months I wouldn't talk to Sasha, and then out of the blue, she'd be like, "I just been waiting because I knew you was gonna call. I knew you was gonna come back around. I just know you needed your moment because not only is she my friend, one of my best friends, but she's my sister, and she been through all kind of seasons and emotions with me while walking in my marriage. But then on the in transitioning, she's been walking with me too, and
Hmm.
so. But yeah, like I right now where I am right now is I'm not gonna say I'm preaching healing, but I'm understanding healing. I'm understanding what it is. I'm understanding, and Holy Spirit has been so gracious in this
Ma'am.
process. Like it's been an ugly, beautiful moment. And I remember, my brother in love. My brother in love. I call him Rashid. His name is Rashad. He stays in South Carolina. He's married to my sister Melissa. And I remember, I'm gonna say they kidnapped me because I actually thought they were trying to take me to my car. And then I got in the car and we went to a restaurant and he sat me down at we was at Park Lane Tavern and we sat down in that
Mhm.
car and he said, "This process is not gonna be pretty. It's gonna
Yeah.
be ugly."
Yeah.
He said there are going
Mm.
to be times. He said you're not going to want to hear scriptures. He said I've been where you are. He said, but on the other side, he said if you keep walking, he said on the other side, he said look at your beautiful sister. On the other side, he was like the sun will shine. He was like, and the
Hmm.
grass is not all. He said the grass not always greener on the other. He said the grass is not always greener. He said and sometimes that grass is going to be so high, so you got to trim it and you got to prune it. He
Come
said
on
when you're
now.
walking through that grass, he said you're going to come encounter with snakes. But if you keep walking and you just allow God to clear it and you clear it and go through the process, he said there's something better on the other side. And he began to like tell me his story of how his mom, because I love his mother, how she would call him and want to talk scriptures. And he was like, I don't want to hear about no Jesus. I don't want to hear about no God. I don't want to hear about no scriptures. He said, I am angry. I am mad. And I just want to be here. And so he was like, sis, you're going to go through that. He said,
Yeah.
and it's okay. He was the first one to say, it's okay to
Yeah.
feel your,
It
well, my
is.
sister, and Sasha said, it's okay. He said, and
Hmm.
people have not walked this walk, if they have never been through this, they're not gonna know. He said
Exactly.
people are gonna try to give you the best advice they can. He said they're going and they think they're gonna be doing good. He said, but you're not gonna want to hear it. He said it's okay. He was like, but he said, keep moving. He said, I know the tunnel seems dark, like you said, Adrian. He was
Yeah.
like, but just keep walking. And that's what I've learned. I've learned to just keep walking because I've been through so many transitions. I've been like, Lord, you gotta do something. And when I say the Lord would show, when I say he
Come
showed
on
up and
now.
showed out, he
Come
showed up.
on.
He showed up,
Hmm.
he showed out. And so that again, like I'm still a writer. I'm still singing songwriter. People ask me all the time, inbox me or whatever. But I feel like because I went through what I went through, because I'm going where I'm going, things my songs have they still godly centered, but my songs now are they minister to the person. You
Yeah.
know, not just the spirit, man. They minister to the whole person. Again, because everybody out here hurting.
Yeah.
And
I think when you walk through healing, and I'm a person that loves parables. Like the
mhm,
parables in the Bible, that's me and Jesus. I love it.
yeah,
When you're walking through a healing, healing looks different for everybody, and it just depends on
absolutely.
the wound and the depth of the wound, the inflection, who inflicted it, how it was
Say
cut,
it
if it was
again.
jagged, if it was a puncture, whatever it
Oh
was,
God.
it has to heal differently based on the
Say it again.
layers that it went through.
Now say
Mhm.
repeat what you said.
I can't. You
And
better catch it. Y'all better catch it.
now let me
Listen,
tell you, that
listen.
is so
What happens is the Holy Spirit will come in, and I'm not gonna remember to regurgitate that. So y'all just got to run it back.
replay it. Go replay it. It's at 120, 124. Because
Listen,
that is so true. And I just told somebody that it looks different. Healing looks different for
my
everybody.
wound ain't your
Yes.
wound. The
Say
depth,
it again.
the width, the layers it had to go through to pierce me, or if it hit a major organ, that healing looks so different. Whether it's a
Mhm.
physical or spiritual or an emotional healing that you
That's
have to go
right.
through. And guess what? Everybody can't do surgery. They're a specialist.
Come
You
on.
can't come through and try to heal me and you work on cars.
With your
That's your
ordinary.
lane. Stay in your lane. You ain't never
Yeah,
got cut like this.
Mm.
that's right.
So I understand that when those young ladies come across my path who have gone through the trauma that I've gone through, I'm a specialist for them.
Amen. Say so.
God takes your testimony and makes you a specialist.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I can speak to that. I can show you how to heal in that area.
Yeah.
Now, I may not be your specialist, but Candy may be your specialist. I can
Hmm.
refer you.
Mhm.
Hmm. Say that again.
I'm not going to swerve out my lane. I'm not going to make no abrupt lane changes. I ain't trying to crash, and I ain't trying to crash nobody. But know what your specialty is.
Absolutely.
If your specialty is depression, then that's the healing that you speak to.
That's right.
That's the anointing that's on your life.
That's right.
I'm proficient in a lot of things. But this is the thing, when you're walking through your healing, take notes.
Mhm.
Because somebody gonna need your notes.
Journal.
Your
Journal.
notes are your
Absolutely.
devotionals. Your notes are it's somebody's book that they're gonna read in 3 or 4 years, that they have a perfect marriage right now, but they don't see what's coming. They're waiting on
Mhm.
your book.
Absolutely.
They're waiting on this video to get replayed on YouTube. I think it is so funny. I've gleaned so much in this season from old videos on YouTube. I don't even watch regular TV. People got to tell me the news because I don't really look at it, because I'm always like, Lord, okay, I'm in this season. Somebody has already preached this. Somebody's already walked
Hmm.
through this. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I just
Yeah.
have to look for the specialist that I need.
Come on,
Mhm.
eight. All right. That's it. Goodbye, y'all.
Ma'am,
Okay.
ma'am.
That is it. And that's it. That is it.
And
And
apply
again,
and listen, it ain't enough
that's
for
so
you to
good.
get the information, especially what we spent here. We just spent a lot of stuff. We just spent some
Yes.
home ownership tips, which we ain't done with that yet. We just spent some tax tips. We just spent some modeling tips, some getting through divorce tips, healing tips. It's not enough for you to get this, but you
Mm.
got to apply it.
Mhm.
A
Yes.
Amen.
lot of times we get all this information and don't push the garbage out. Meaning, I got to push them little sideways conversations that my girl said about my husband out. And I got to get what my specialist put, the script that she gave me, that I need to replace that with,
Hmm.
so that I can walk out my healing. Because God can't heal you what you won't give him.
Come through.
Yeah. And then one thing with that too is, some of your greatest lessons is learned through pain. You
Yeah.
know,
Don't
and when
you?
you
I
learn
hate it here.
and when you
I
learn
need the plate.
I hate it.
I'm about to
You know,
cash app you, Sasha, ma'am.
let me tell
you
you,
know,
and
but
it
Maybe not cash
sucks.
app, because they taxing that now. So
Right.
I'm
They
a
really are.
transfer to you.
They
But
sure
and then
are. My
also
brother
the
just said something
joy,
about that.
and the other side of the joy is in the triumph of you overcoming. You know, what I'm saying in the lessons
Ma'am.
that you learn.
Roll my eyes.
I mean, because you know, we all in our own way, we've all been there. God knows, y'all know my y'all know. But I release my
Yeah.
story.
You should write a book.
I'm strategically gonna put my story out there. But y'all know, what I've been through. And so, and it's like I was, I was just looking at it yesterday. I was thinking, I was like, and it hit me, and I was just like, dang, some of my greatest lessons are learned through pain, but we grow from it.
We
And
grow
when
in
we
the
look
dark.
back, yeah,
We
when we look
grow
back
in the
at it,
dark, but the seed is
you,
what?
you know,
What is the seed birth? In the ground,
in the dark,
in the
in the
dark,
ground, and all
in
the
the ground, in
soil
the
and
dark.
all the
I like what Steve Harvey
everything
said
around
when
it.
they throw the dirt on you, baby. That sugar, honey iced tea. I'm learning. I'm trying to reel it in. You didn't do nothing but fertilize me, baby.
That's it.
So when I come up out this ground, when I come up out the dark, and this is the funny thing, when you sit in the dark long enough, your vision adapts and you see things that you didn't see before.
Come.
Because your eyesight adjusts. If you think
Your
about it, when you're in the
eyesight
dark,
adjusts.
when
Your
you're in the dark
perception,
long enough and that
your
light comes
vision,
on, it adjusts.
your
And
vision gets changed in that dark
mhm,
place.
yep. And that's how you can see that vision so
So
much
I'm cool with the dark.
better. And that's
Because
just like
then that's when God started giving me gifts and talents and unveiling stuff and showing me people and showing me things and showing me where I need to go in the dark. So I'm cool with the dark.
On the mountaintop,
infrared glasses
in the little
works all the
you
time.
and Jesus.
But
But
even like what we're saying now, and just kind of talk about and kind of bring it back to what Adrian was saying before about even the metamorphosis state. If you think about that caterpillar, like, okay,
Ma'am.
here's the scientist,
okay,
the
hold up.
dirty part.
Before you say that, that was really good, Adrian, because I really never thought of like he do. He need all them little bit thousand legs. Them little bit
But
legs.
when you think of,
Listen,
but
let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you this other little bit, right?
well,
So,
hold on,
like,
oh, let me drop this real quick before you go there. But with the caterpillar, when it goes through the metamorphosis, it's actually its body is changing into mush.
Mm-hmm.
It's those legs disappear. Only things
Mm-hmm.
that stay is what's going to stay from it. You got this little wormy looking thing. The caterpillars are so cute. You ever look at them up front? They got little fuzzy faces. I used to play with caterpillars when I was little. So you got the little fuzzy faces and everything, and you look at it just like a little black face. And you just like, oh, you're so cute. But how does the wings grow from just your slender body?
Mm-hmm.
Like Adrian, you said, you have all these legs, but next thing you know, you got two in the front, two in the back. And then your head is not the same. You don't have this little fat, fuzzy face. You got this little slender, little round face with antennas. You didn't have antennas when you were a caterpillar, but when he gets into that cocoon, it turns
chrysalis.
it right, and in the midst of that, body breaks down. That's the nerd part of me. So the body breaks down, and you become mush, and it's recreated again within that cocoon in the chrysalis. And then when it comes out, it's a whole nother creation.
Let me tell you something. When I was in school, that multitasking thing. I'm writing a paper at midnight and listening to TD Jakes at the same time. He was talking about butterfly, and of course, anything that just kind of catches my attention. This is the thing what most people don't understand. All that was already the wings, that slender, everything you see beautiful was already in that caterpillar that you didn't see.
That's right.
But it had to go and be hidden and some pressure applied for it to come out and change.
Absolutely.
For it to reveal its true identity. So I think it's so funny. When I became a model, somebody said, "Oh my God, you look so beautiful." And I looked like I was always that. I ain't just get here. Ma'am, this is the thing. God has to hide you in some seasons. or you didn't see me coming. And I say that, I'm like, I'm good. You ain't got to see me coming, but you'll know when I get there.
Hey,
You didn't see me coming.
cash that. Let me see you cash that.
I know.
You didn't see me coming, but you weren't supposed to see me coming.
Mm-hmm.
And when people don't see your worth, they treat you accordingly. But all you did was show me who you were.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Mhm.
The wings were always in me. The ability to fly has always been within me. I just needed to be hidden for a season in that chrysalis so that God can come in and develop the gifts that are on the inside of me. So when you see me, you now see the beauty that was always there.
Yeah.
I didn't just get here. You just didn't see me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, when you see a butterfly, you always think, oh my God, it's so beautiful and it's light and airy, but you never saw it when it was on the ground.
You stepped on
When
it.
it was
I was ready to say that.
when it was below you.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm in your line of sight. Now you got to
Come
chase
on,
me.
Adrian.
Now you got to follow me if you can.
Mm-hmm. Catch me.
A lot of
You
people don't understand that there's already beauty on the inside of you.
Yeah.
There's beauty on the inside of everyone. It's only when you go through and you're pressed and God can come in and transform you that other people see what he already put on the inside of you.
Uh-huh.
But most people don't take that time because they too busy keeping you in a caterpillar mindset. That's them friends that roll back on you. Girl, I remember when you used to. Yeah, I did. See, the problem with that is you remember who that other person was. She ain't there no
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But visionaries, people in your tribe who see the giftedness already on the inside of you, already know what's there.
Uh-huh.
I got a little sister. She tell me, she said, she always tell me, she said, you know what, you one dope ass chick. And the funny thing is, I'm like, I think that's a compliment. I'm like, okay. She's like, I always knew that things were inside of you. I always knew that you were that. Sometimes we have a hard time seeing the
Being
gifting on the
ourselves.
inside of
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Sasha and I were at dinner, and it was something she said. And I'm like, but you not a jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
God is not a one trick pony. If he can be El Shaddai, Jireh, Jehovah, he can be all these names, and we are made in his image.
That's
Why
right.
you think that you don't have all these attributes? You're a
Exactly.
provider to somebody.
Amen.
Exactly.
Somebody has experienced you in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a healer to somebody. You've been a provider to those who needed you. You've been a deliverer for somebody you gave a word to in the grocery store.
Yep.
A counselor. You'd have been look. You'd have been Uber. You done carried somebody somewhere. You've been
a
all these
caretaker,
things.
a CNN.
If you ask people,
you've been a healer to some people too, just by listening to what they were going through.
come on now,
Or providing the
all
wine.
these things.
come on now,
The wine ministry.
There you go.
Take the bottle to the beach. What we do,
ma'am,
We do.
Ching.
ma'am. You'd have been a provider. You'd have been a protector of some people too,
Keeping us out of jail.
ma'am, or having that bail money and ready. Thank you on deck,
Exactly.
my little sister, Dr. K. Thank you for having the money on deck. You need all these people to be your authentic, genuine self and who God created you to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the greatest disservice we do to ourselves is thinking that the things that are flaws that we have to get rid of. Mm-hmm. Your flaws sometimes are the protection that God gives you from other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God gave every thing on this earth a mechanism to protect itself. Why do you think you don't have the same thing in you? And we are greater than the things that are servants that are below us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sometimes your anger or your standoffishness or your I'm just checking everybody out in the room, that's protection.
That's Sasha.
That's protection. So that, no, baby, that person is, they gonna jack your whole soul up. Mm-hmm. So step back. It's all right to just observe,
Yeah.
you know, or that you don't fool with people that move like this. That's protection.
Yeah. And that's so
So,
funny. Me and Sasha, we went out one time and I ain't been out in so long. And she was like, oh, if y'all, one thing, if y'all don't
I
know
should
about
be
Sasha,
dragging everybody out.
baby, Sasha loves Latin music. She loves Latin music. I think she's Latin somewhere. It's in her blood somewhere. So
The
we went
sun,
out.
baby.
We went to this Latin spot. And Sasha, I walked in there like, ah! And Sasha was like, she was because I didn't see her until later, but she was really like watching and paying attention. So we talked about it later. She said, "Yeah, I had to watch you because you was over here one moment, then you was over there." I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, my bad." And so yeah, like that's her. And like you said, I agree with everything. Like it is. You got to have a healthy community. You got to have a healthy tribe because the only way that you're gonna thrive is if you got people around you. Like Adrian said, it's not your yes man that's not gonna, agree with you when you dead behind wrong. You need people that is gonna sharpen you. You need people there that's gonna gut punch you. You need
Mm-hmm.
people there that's gonna say, "Oh, come on," because Sasha be doing me
Uh
like that.
huh.
Oh, it's
Uh-huh.
okay.
That's Sasha. If I want some butter, she gonna give it to me.
There you
And some sugar
go. But
too.
then
Look. Don't get Sasha twisted there, y'all. Sasha can come with that rough
she
street
can,
stuff
and that's what
too.
I was about to go there. That's what I'm about
I
to go.
caught a glimpse of her thug once, and I was like, wait.
Let me tell you, Adrian. So this is a true story. One year, I'm telling it. I'm about to tell it. One year we went to Vegas because I had to sing in Vegas
Now
or
you wrong
whatever.
right now because everything's supposed to
Yeah,
stay in Vegas. You wrong
yeah,
just off the jump, but we gonna let it slide.
It was the
but
event we had. The event we had
yeah.
in
And then
Vegas.
something took place, and she was so mad. And it was me, her assistant, and one of our other good friends, Rose. She's a photographer. And what happened? We have been waiting for Sasha to snap, but she kept it calm. We was angry, and she was just keeping it calm. And like us being around her, we never seen Sasha snap, and we just like she had been going that right there. Like that Vegas trip was just like the straw that broke the camel's back. But before then, even before she got there, she was going through some things or whatever, and we was waiting. So we was in a car driving. We was in a car driving. I don't know. I can't remember where we were going. And so I was like, I'm just up to here with it. He
We was
is
on the
so
way.
beat on the top of the ceiling. And we were sitting in the back. And me and Ro looked like.
Ro was like, "Yeah, that's what I've been waiting
And
for."
see, Ro was that friend. She was that friend. She was a fighter. She like, let's go fight. Thank God for deliverance. But we all have been waiting for Sasha to snap. Like we never seen Sasha snap. So our first reaction, we just looked at each other and we was like, "Yo, like she mad, just like punched the ceiling of the car."
She
We had
mad,
somebody in
mad.
the
She
car
big
who never
mad.
met us because we were on our way to the venue for the event that we were. There was the fashion showcase, the music showcase that we did, and we were on our way to the venue. I had a volunteer with me that was in Vegas. Never met the woman in my life. She just signed up to volunteer. She in the car when I'm having that moment, and I said, "Look, I'm sorry. I had to come back. I'm sorry." She said, "No, you good.
The
You."
lady was scared, Sasha. The lady was scared. That lady had her pen in her bag. She was like, she said, "Oh, it's gonna be okay because I got you." I said, "What? We embarrassed.
She
We
worked
are
too.
embarrassed."
She did her thing out there too. But
She did.
yeah,
But
that
if
was a
so,
lesson learned. That was a
so
lesson learned.
Candy is
Partnership.
right. Sasha
Mhm.
snaps. So and then she has this way. Oh, then she has this way of like she'll be nice about it, but it's a nice nasty.
Yep.
You won't catch it, but all of her friends would.
Listen, my grandmother had a skill. I said, I don't even understand how she did that right there. She didn't cut you, you hemorrhaging. You didn't got down the street and just collapsed. And then you realize that she cut you.
Absolutely.
That's that
That's a
stealth mode.
skill. That's
Yeah.
a skill.
That's ninja.
Yeah.
That's a true ninja.
That's that mama look. That's
Yeah,
that mama look.
ma'am. And sometimes, listen, I call it soul adjustments.
Absolutely.
Let me adjust your soul real quick.
Yeah, and Sasha got it. She's sweet. Don't get her twisted. She's sweet, but like Candace said, baby, don't
You've been
cross.
touched by Angel.
All right, Angel. I look at Adrian.
Listen, this is the
Okay.
thing. The ones who have that great restraint can do the most damage because they know this what they wield.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get moved by the ones that's got a lot of mouth because you ain't cutting up nothing. You hitting air.
I had to tell somebody
You
that.
hitting
I
air.
said, yeah, I had to tell, somebody that was really close to me. I said, I said, don't worry about what I say. So you need to worry about what I think. I said, because
Facts.
I said, the thing is, you don't know you don't know what I'm thinking about. And Holy Spirit is the reason why I'm this calm. So you need to thank the Lord that, because my
That the
brother,
spirit on the inside of me is greater than he that's in the world. Just listen.
you better thank him. He
Yep.
saved your life.
Y'all reading
People don't
these
know
comments?
when Jesus be saving their souls. I'm like, you got to thank God every
Thank
day.
him.
These comments are funny coming in right now.
Thank
I mean, I
him.
don't know
Listen.
if y'all seen these comments.
I want to
but
thank
it's-
him.
You better sing, sis. You better
Mama.
sing.
My mom talking about so she got it honest.
You better listen.
Ari watching, he's talking about saying he ain't scared.
You better be. All right. You better be.
Listen. This is real talk, Sasha. This is real talk, Sasha, right now. According to Sasha.
And
This
this
is
was
real.
what Sasha is all about.
Yeah, because the thing is,
Yeah.
it takes a tribe to tell you.
I think it's long gone are the days of being fake.
Yeah.
Say that again.
And
Absolutely.
you can't win anybody being fake.
No.
You
Especially
can't
this generation. Because they can sniff it out.
I say that all the time. Listen, if you can't be authentic, you will never reach them. A lot of ministers miss that.
Absolutely.
And I've always been I'm a strong drink is what I say.
You are.
I'm not for everybody. Everybody can't consume me, and I'm okay with that.
Uh-huh.
There is a person out here that those people can handle that.
Uh-huh.
For others that you need some Kool-Aid. I'm cool on that. I can hit you with the kiddie table over there.
Mm-hmm.
But in this season of transparency, the stuff that this age group is going through requires transparency.
Absolutely.
I remember I attended a women's conference once, and I ain't always been saved. And I facilitated a women's retreat, and we were asking some sexual questions. And the question, I was the moderator, which to me, I don't know if they knew what they was doing.
I was like, why did they do that? Why did they do that?
Are we?
Ma'am. So, we had a lot of generations within that set. And the women, we glean from our older women, and I believe in honoring those who've already done this. Mm-hmm. But the travesty was that was an opportunity for some women to be set free, not to be so bound by religion, and not to be bound by and have relationship and not religion. And these young girls who were just getting married and had questions about the sanctity of what's what defiles the marriage bed, and some of the answers that we got, I was like, is that what you really telling her? Like, that's not a game plan. I asked the question. I said, so what do you do when he listen, he come to the door, you single and saved and you trying to live for Jesus, and he come to the door and you can smell his cologne through the door.
Thank you, Lord.
Ma'am, what you do?
You pray.
And the answer that I got was just pray and don't answer the door. What? Wait.
What was the answer, Adrian?
Pray.
See, told you.
And don't answer the door. No, baby, listen.
You gotta have self-control.
I need some practical applications as to listen, especially when you've already tasted that fruit.
Honey.
Please tell me. Because see, the enemy will replay that in your mind like it was a whole hour long and it wasn't 10 minutes.
You already tasted the banana.
Ma'am. So the wisdom that they were giving these girls, I said, there's a real disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
You have not equipped them to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To sustain themselves. If they really want to keep themselves, that's not a practical application. Yes, you pray. No, you need to have listen, I'm learning to have a default response for foolishness. That easy button. I'm going to call somebody easy button and I run it through the board. Like, listen, this is what I want to say.
No, can't say that.
But what should I say? And then they come up, I have a wide variety of women in my board. I get all kinds of answers. But they gave me wisdom that was practical application that I can use because I was transparent with what was going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
When people come to you in transparency and say, listen, sis, I'm trying not to stab people because they pissing me off. How do I handle that? And I don't want to hear just pray and give me a scripture and send me about my way.
Pray for healing. I'm just playing. Don't do that.
You got to have a whole default response.
Give you that answer. I would
Stab
never give
and
you
pray
that answer.
Don't do that, y'all. Don't stab people and pray for healing. God can heal, but we don't want y'all to go to jail because there are consequences
for stabbings. Yes. So, but that's if you get caught. Anyway,
if you get caught, Adrian. But don't do that, guys.
Listen. But in that moment, I realized that some people were so bound by religion, they don't understand relationship.
Absolutely.
Relationship will free you.
Absolutely.
Relationship with God is not hit him on the hotline on the weekend, or he, like one of my girlfriends said, he not a weekend parent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He not a weekend parent. And the transparency will set somebody free.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, be resourceful. We're resourceful in so many other things. Listen, let me call a friend. Let me phone a friend. Let's get the whole board together. What did y'all think? And then you come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
You come up with a tangible, practical application because it's nothing new. It's just all in how you deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me how to lose weight if you've never lost weight, or you've never struggled with putting that seatbelt on, or your thighs rubbing together, or them giving you the extension on the plane.
Exactly. You ain't never ate or nothing healthy. You try to tell ain't did nothing. You ain't put in no word.
Candy, like, I'm just gonna sip my tea.
But that's real. You ain't been to the amusement park and can't sit in at the roller coaster.
Ma'am.
Cause
and mad.
Can't go down.
I'm big mad that I can't get on it because the bar won't go down.
Let me tell you. Don't tell me nothing about losing weight.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? But if you know the struggle and you can be transparent about, you know what? I went through a marriage where I wasn't fulfilled, or he abused me. You know? Or listen, I don't want to be that type of wife.
I think that's the difference between us now, because we're coming out, we're being real. We are talking to things about what's actually happened. A lot of this is like when we went to our grandmothers and our parents. We would ask questions, whether it was about relationships or sex or whatever. They didn't give us the answers that we needed to hear. They gave us that sweet little church answer.
Absolutely.
Which didn't help us,
Absolutely.
So now we're at the stage, all of us here on this podcast, we got kids. So now we just be open. We open with our kids.
Yeah.
And don't sugarcoat the thing. Just tell them how it is. I mean, there's a comes a time where you have to sugarcoat because of the age that they are.
Discretion.
But once they start coming of age, just tell the truth. Ask questions. My daughter's coming to me now and be asking me questions. I'll be like, okay, come on, let's sit down. We had a talk. Whatever you want to talk about, here it is. If you want to ask me how my experience was, here you go. You asked for it. You old enough. Here it comes.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know when I started giving out sugar because I just didn't. And I think a lot of parents, when I would have conversations with my girlfriends, they'd be like, wait a minute. You said that to your son? I said, don't go out here and have dumb sex. Be informed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we're not doing dumb sex because you do dumb stuff and bring back things. No. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if ma'am.
Adrian, but what's dumb
Ma'am.
sex? Adrian, what's dumb sex though? You gotta tell the people what that is.
Listen, dumb sex
Okay,
is
okay, Adrian, before you answer that question, remember where we are. Okay.
Okay,
We are not
I'm
all
sorry.
together at the table, okay?
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm a PG-13 it. Okay.
Okay.
Let me. I know. Listen.
Bring it in.
But see,
Bring
that's
it
the
in.
thing, though. That's the thing, though.
No, don't. Just go ahead and do your rated R version. Just get it out.
Okay, so
Look at Candace like,
we'll bleep. I think I got to bleep. Go ahead. I'll try to bleep.
I know y'all, and I know how. I'm just saying, I know how we all can get.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Jazz said yes, please, before you answer. Thank you, Jazz. Listen. You know, and I don't want to put my baby's business out, but you know, dumb sex, like just not strapping up, or she on the pill, or you know, you the only one, you my first, sir. Like I got a nephew right now, and we had this Lord Jesus, we just had this conversation, and he hit me and his mama in the head. I wasn't ready. He was like very graphic, but I like the fact that he felt comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah.
Because see, if you don't know, your knucklehead friends gonna tell you what they think they know.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So this broad running it down like, yeah, you know, he's my first, and his mother and I were like, no, hell no, she know too much. Why she know that? That's dumb sex. You ain't did your research. You know, don't have dumb sex where you having sex with somebody and you ain't got sense enough to go and get checked out after that relationship ends. To make sure that they ain't do nothing, give you nothing that you weren't supposed to leave with. Don't have dumb sex. Be informed about what's going on with your body. No, baby, that's just, listen, that smell, no, boo. No, hell no. I'm sorry.
Educate them, Adrian.
Don't be putting your face in places that don't, sir.
That don't smell good.
You gonna wrap it up to put a condom on it, but not to put your face in it, sir. And this is what we don't talk about with our young men. And so they out here, and our ladies, y'all out here wilding out. If you even listen, Vital Records or VHDA gives you statistics of STDs reported in your locality.
Yeah.
Be informed. That means there's a lot of people rolling out here that ain't protected and just sharing things.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And some of this you can't get rid of, boo.
Sure can. They got new stuff out here now.
Y'all worried about COVID. COVID can kill you, but you ain't worried about dipping with this one or doing the double dip where you done dip twice that day. Ma'am.
Absolutely.
Dumb sex. Because our generation will not have those transparent conversations that, baby, listen, back in the day, and I had to let my son know real quick, baby, mama ain't always been saved. Because he had put me on a pedestal. And as much as I love him, I didn't realize how high that pedestal was until he got, and I'm like, baby, no, listen, let me hit you with real talk. Because see, this world out here gonna give you all this realness.
Absolutely.
They gonna give you all this realness.
Absolutely.
And you're not ready for it. And I don't want you to go out here and be misinformed, whether it's about sex, whether it's about your money, whether it's about religion versus relationship.
Absolutely.
Because people will preach religion in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
And have no relationship.
Absolutely.
No relationship with God. And you following these people that don't have relationship. There's no fruit on their tree.
Absolutely.
If you see a broad and she walking around and the fruit on her tree look a little dirty, how about you not mess with her? She messy in her regular life. Why are you getting in business with her?
That's right.
And you wonder why she ain't, paid her invoice yet. She messy in her personal. Listen, how she rolling her business.
You better tell it.
Yep.
That's
So
so
you
true.
can't be mad because you supported a black business, but you saw her how she was handling everybody on Instagram in public.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. You gotta do your homework, man.
All
You
right. So
have to.
Everybody, come on now.
we got a
Relationship.
question.
Hmm.
I'll let you
Hmm.
answer this one, Adrian. So, do you think that older generation has enough respect for the younger generation to be able to effectively reach them?
No, I
No,
believe
I can
I
answer
believe
that.
we
No.
discount them and we disregard them, and we don't give. We think that because we had it so hard, because that's the narrative we were spit when we were kids back in my day. They have their own set of um trials and tribulations that they're going through,
Advices.
and this is
Yeah.
the thing: your children are nobody. Your children are you with the volume turned up.
Hmm.
So in light of that, your children experience the things that you experience at a higher volume,
Mm-hmm.
more intensity than you ever did.
Mm-hmm.
So the light affliction of the depression that we suffered when we were kids, or the things we suffered, whether yours was light or heavy,
Mm-hmm.
they're experiencing it in a greater force.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
then we didn't do our due diligence because we were so busy being, you know, single parents or dealing with our own traumas, that
Yeah.
we didn't fortify them to withstand the
Absolutely.
things they're going through now. So I have people in my circle. One of my brothers, he's doing the work to go back and fortify his son, that who is now an adult. That, son, listen, I didn't go through that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you how I had to go through it, and if you can apply it to you, do that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we want to leave these legacies, but we haven't left a legacy of healing and how to navigate this thing called life.
As
And it takes
absolutely.
nothing away from you as a parent to go back and undo the things that you've done to your children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it now, or at least trying
Yep.
to,
Mm-hmm.
because what I did in convenience of being a single parent,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have the time to do, I did what I could. That's no
Hmm.
longer the excuse I can hold, because once I know better, I should do
Do
better.
that.
And that means,
Absolutely.
Exactly.
let me go back and dig that seed up that I
Say
planted
it
in you,
again.
that we as parents innately plant seeds that were planted in us and don't
Yes.
realize
Say it again.
the root is why your child
Absolutely.
don't deal with you. The root is why your child is out here, and she, gapped open for everybody and exposing herself on Instagram, because you didn't deal with the seed that you sowed,
Hmm.
Generational
or the seed
curses.
that was sown in you.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's only a byproduct. What you see on Instagram, what you see in therapies, what you see in church, what you see in your everyday walk, are only byproducts of seeds that were sown and haven't been dug
Yeah.
up. They
Yeah.
are the weeds.
Yeah.
And when you see it, now you are charged with, when daddy allows you to see something, he's called you to deal with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Some things you can't unsee, and I'm like, Lord, why did I have to see that?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah.
said, because and if it bothers you that much, if it even caught your eye,
Yeah.
daddy said, I need you to either think about it, deal with it on the inside of you, or help that person get through it.
Mm-hmm. And that's
And we
why
don't
it's
always take the time to do that.
uh-huh.
That Audley said, talk about the assignment. That is your assignment.
Mm-hmm.
We always looking for what our purpose is. God gives us your purpose every time. When things bother you, that's your assignment. And you
Uh-huh.
ain't got just one assignment. Let's think about school. You ain't get just one teacher, one assignment, one course. No, you got a lot.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people assigned to you.
Mm-hmm.
I have been assigned to you.
Thank
You've
you.
been assigned to me, for my betterment, for
Absolutely.
your betterment, so that we can reach people and help them change, or at least navigate this thing called life and relationship with daddy.
Amen.
But we don't want, we so self-absorbed And that's why our children are where they are. We've been so self-absorbed, and there's nothing wrong with being self-full, because you have to deal with yourself before you can help heal your children.
Exactly.
Can I say something really quick? And that is so true. And this is something I've learned and I appreciate. Our kids healing depends on us healing.
Come on now.
Our
I
children, that's
just
why,
said that.
yeah, and that's why we have to heal in a healthy manner, so that it gives our children permission and it creates an
Yes.
environment, a healthy environment for them to heal. And that's like, it was something that you said about going back, and digging up. That's breaking generational curses. And we
Yes.
are, when you see it, like she said, God is holding you responsible for going and digging that up. Because, and we have to think about it like this too, our parents dealt with us according to how they were dealt. And
Facts.
so
Mhm.
what happens is they don't break that. They think that they're doing a good thing because in their mind they was raised the right way. And so they keep those generational curses going. But the thing is, like Adrian said, the this generation, like with them, they have to deal with technology. Like we dealt with technology. I dealt with well, we dealt with technology, but it wasn't the way that
On
they,
this level. Yeah.
yeah, this level is a whole nother level. And so we have to learn, we have to deal with our vices and different things so that our kids can heal. I remember an incident with my mother, and she was about, Lord, I thought she about to kill me, and she's about to beat me down because something my baby sister did, but I ain't gonna put her out there. But it was something that she did, and my mother, she grabbed me, and then she stopped herself, and she said, I can't. She said it stops right here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember her saying it. She said, I'm not gonna just beat y'all to beat y'all. She
Come
said,
on
because
now.
that's what we got. She said, but she said, I'm not gonna just be hitting on y'all to hit on y'all. She said, I'm the way that I'm gonna discipline y'all, I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing it. She said, when we got beat, we just
Come on
got
now.
beat. And we didn't even know why we got beat. So that when my mother did that, me and my brother, my older brother, like we discipline our kids differently. You
Yeah.
know, like with my son when he was little, sometimes you know, tap that little booty, but then I had to find other ways. And like with my son's 14 or whatever. And one thing I can't say about me and my ex-husband is that we did give him the room to speak
Yeah.
his mind, but we
Yeah.
taught him how to do it in a respectful manner. Because with us, you know, you say if you sigh hard, you almost lost your tongue, you almost lost your
Man.
life. You know, if we ask questions, it was don't ask me that. Just do it because I said so. And my son ain't that child. And I learned that when he was little. He's a very analytical person.
Hmm.
He's been like that since he was a kid. So we had to learn how to deal with them differently. And so again, we have, it goes back to what you just said, creating what we talked about earlier, creating a legacy of healing. Healing
Yeah.
is so important. And in order for this next generation to thrive, we have to go back and humble ourselves and
Facts.
go
That.
back and apologize to our kids for doing what we thought was right. And
Mhm.
then we have to go back and we
Yeah.
have to dig up those seeds, and we have to give them, we have to definitely give them room to be like, because my son, Lord Jesus, Sasha know her nephew, and sometimes her like, we have to give my son, he would, I'm not gonna say he would throw it in your face, but if I said something and then I do it, he would like, but mom, you know, you told me not to do that, but you're doing that. I don't understand. And he's been like that since he was little.
Hmm.
And so, but I have given him that room to not correct me, but to make me aware. To
You know
make me
what? And I'm gonna tell you the truth. So when my son was younger, and he was so in love with God, and he was, he would get upset when people would leave litter on. He said, "Mama, they messing with God's
oh
planet." I was like, "Okay,
yeah.
baby, you know, ma'am." And God will take your children to teach you.
Oh
A child shall lead them. And you
yeah,
can't be so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good, that your child,
absolutely.
you can't be corrected by a child. And the thing is, the
Man.
correction that comes, this is the funny thing. And my mother, when she was alive, bless her soul, she said, "Oh no, he wouldn't be telling me that." I said, "Well, mama,
Mm-hmm.
this is wisdom. I'm taking him to church. He's
Mm-hmm.
sitting getting the same message that I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
It's being deposited in him.
That's right.
Why wouldn't it come back out of him?
Come
I
on.
remember he told me one time I was giving somebody the business
Oh God.
right after church, because that's when the enemy jump on you. It's right after church. I'm hungry and I'm in traffic or whatever I'm doing. And he says to me, and he was probably about 6 years old, and the pastor had said, this is walking in love, and this is not walking in love. So he looks at me, he says, Mommy, is that walking in love?
Oh, dagger to the heart.
Now I wouldn't. I knew the Holy Spirit restrained me because
Yeah.
but he wasn't wrong.
That's
So we
right.
can't keep thinking that we put things into our children, good and bad.
Say that
Seed
again.
is seed, ground is ground. Those two things don't change.
That's right.
And it's not going to grow, and it's not going to come out. It gets
Absolutely.
watered. It's gonna produce fruit. So when he would say, well, Mama, that's not walking in love, I put that in him. Why wouldn't I expect him to bear fruit?
That's
He's
right.
good
That's
ground.
good.
That was seed. It's going to grow. And he gave it back to me. And he was always that person that, Mom, that's not right. I remember one time I called myself, gonna sneak into a movie theater. Like we had did the one movie and snuck into another. And I tell you, my son put me in so much condemnation that day.
Oh my God, that's my child, Lord.
And he was like, we went in, and the whole time he's like, Mom, we didn't pay.
He felt so
And it was a group of us. Mama, we didn't pay. And, we really, all the way home, Mama, we really should have paid for that. Now, what he brought into question was, Mama, that wasn't right. Well, I thought you said, I thought we talked about integrity.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because
we take it from a stranger.
Kids one way and then go the other way. We can't do that. Our kids watch every single we do. They are little, so they see everything that we do. So you can say, well, hey, we're not gonna do this, but then at night, as soon as they go to sleep, you sneaking the person in the house. And then you tell them, you got to be gone before they get up. Don't you think that kid already know who'd have been there? Because trust me, they watching everything that you do.
Baby, they know
sleep, but they ain't sleep.
They're at the walls listening.
And that is just like Adrian said, and it doesn't. A seed is a seed, whether it's good or bad. It's going to produce fruit. So you have to allow. You have to be careful about what seed you plant, because it's going to come up. Because I know, and that's so. I remember me and my son, we was in our room, and I was mad at somebody, and I was going in, and he was like, Mom, that's not right. That is not God. He would get, and I was like, boy, ain't nobody tell you preach. I sure did. I was like, ain't nobody. And then I had to humble myself and take it. And one thing that I learned dealing with my child is that to give him that room to vent, especially him seeing me go through what I went through. The Holy Spirit checked me. And the Lord was like, no, don't stop him from voicing how he feels. He said, because what you do is, when you do that, you're telling him that his feelings don't matter. And so I had to, I let him get it out, and then after we would have a talk about it, we'll process it. But yeah, I'm telling them kids, they'll bring it back. My son, he didn't sat me and my husband down and preached to us. God don't like that. I rebuke the devil. I mean, he was like 7, 8. He's like 8 years old, and y'all gonna get it together. And God don't like that, and we gonna be a family. And I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting on my attitude. I ain't want to hear it. I ain't want to hear it.
When we talk about kids, this one thing, you want to have that. You want kids to have that safe haven, feel safe in what they do. And then, what just happened? Oh, let me get Adrian back up here. But I know, like when Kiari was young, I used to have this thing I set up with her. It was called Girl Talk, and it was, just that moment, you're always going to have those heated conversations with your kids, and they're going to say this, they're going to do whatever, but you don't always, like you say, you don't want them to ever feel like they're silent. But,
that's right.
But still, you still want to have that structure with them. So what I did was I created a safe space. And I said, we're going to have Girl Talk. And then Girl Talk was, you can say whatever you want to in this realm right here, because it's an open forum for you to speak. You know, like just speak your heart, speak your mind about whatever you're feeling. And she doesn't have to worry about me being like, oh, wait a minute, you're not supposed to say that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that we did when she was younger. And it worked, you know, but it also, because you want your kids to feel like they can communicate. And I think that's a lot of times where, you know, especially like with us, our culture, like, you know, back in the days was always like, oh no, a kid's place is to be somewhere else. You're not supposed to say anything. You can't speak up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what the parents said and whatever. And even though you still want to have that structure, but you still want to have that balance because, you
Absolutely.
know, that that thing grows up with them, you know, to a
Mm-hmm.
point where maybe they'll feel like, oh, well, what's the use of me speaking up all the time if people don't not going to listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that kind of creates that self-esteem there, you know, until they can get out of that. But you just don't know like the effects that we do, you know, as parents on our kids. It grows, it just creates so much different things. It could be trauma, it could be the lack of self-esteem, it could be anything. But when you learn how to have that healthy relationship with them, and then the healthy conversations and the healthy spaces, and then, you know, just create that balance,
Mm-hmm.
then you know, it helps to strengthen that relationship. Also, the communication part of it as well, and it helps them to be more secure adults.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have so with Jonathan and I, we used to have date night.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that was so vital. But like you were saying, we created a safe space. So, you know, when you tell them, I said, listen, whatever you want to talk about,
Oh.
nothing was off limits. However you want to flow. That was his moment of, I can cuss. Or this your time frame, sir. And whatever you need to get up off of you. And some of the conversations, you know, it's very difficult to shock me.
Oh my god.
I wasn't ready. But we needed that time.
Uh-huh.
He needed to know, one, that he was a priority and what he had going on in his life was priority to me.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we don't take the time, you know, we don't take the time to date ourselves, to date our spouse, to do check-ins with our relationships with people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we'll miss moments because we won't check in.
Mm-hmm.
We get so busy about the things that we want to do that we don't get busy about the things that we need to do. And, you know, COVID did a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
causes
but it
check.
required people to check in.
Yeah.
You know, the things that it was, to me, it was a realignment of priorities.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So taking that time to have date night, and I advocate for fathers to date your daughter. You're her first love.
Mm-hmm.
How you treat her is setting the standard for how any man is going to come into her life and treat her.
That's right.
And the same with
Vice
your
versa.
sons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, you don't make your son the head of your household, but
That's right.
let him understand that when he gets his own household, how he needs to navigate that. And we have to get out of the mindset that we're just raising sons and daughters. We are raising people. We are raising people who are going to be husbands, wives, entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you know, if entrepreneurship is not for them, employees,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And how to steward themselves properly in those arenas,
That's
you
right.
know, and teaching them about stewardship and how to handle themselves emotionally and how to steward their own emotions and
Mm-hmm.
handle the emotions of other people that they interact. And we do a disservice not only to our children, but to ourselves because we won't take the time to check in with our relationship with God, to check in our relationship with our spouse. Hey, how am I doing? Because, you know, the greatest, I think 2020, I took so many nuggets from that. But one of the great nuggets was, what is it like to be on the other side of me?
That is good.
I'm not always nice.
Somebody write that down.
I'm not always as attentive as I need to be to people. And if y'all hadn't noticed, I talk a lot. I have to learn to listen some
Mm-hmm.
and fall back and really allow people to be expressive and to learn their personalities. And, as a hairstylist, when I was in the shop and all that, I was able to do that because it wasn't about me, and you're a therapist when you're a hairstylist. I don't care who you are.
That's true.
And you learn to listen to people. How can you effectively help somebody if you don't know or listen to them?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same with your children. What your you can glean so much from your children. I read a quote somewhere recently, and they were like, if you're over 45, you should have a mentor that's younger than you. I was like, okay. But it kind of makes sense. We've already been where they're going.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we're trying to stay relevant. We're trying to operate in their social media system and the things that they're navigating through. This, new stuff that we've never heard of, the cryptocurrency and EFTs and all this kind of stuff, or NFTs. Yeah. So it makes sense. The moment that you think you know everything, now you're ready to die. You have nothing else to learn than what you're still here for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's always something we can be learning. I love being around my young folks. I got a lot of young nieces and nephews, and I love spending time with them. My little 6-year-old nephew, Clay Jr., called me and is like, hey, I got a new number. Okay, baby. I don't know what you're going to want to talk about to Auntie, but we cool with that, But you learn so much from different people. And I think the greatest disservice we do for ourselves is that we close off our streams or our avenues to learning. There are a plethora of people that you could learn from in your day-to-day life, whether it's a younger person. I put up a post not too long ago. I said, God will put your deliverance or your blessing or your healing in the mouth of someone you disregard. The one that you don't want to be bothered with, the one that gets on your nerves. That might be where your blessing is, where your deliverance is, the healing that you're seeking. God can use anybody. If he can use a donkey, I'm pretty sure he can use anybody.
Absolutely.
But we won't take that time. We're so dismissive. And like you said, we do cut off. Jackie said, she quick to cut people off. And I am too. I have been. I'm like, you handed me the scissors. Click. There we go.
Yeah.
Now there's a cutting off that God has already told you this was the end of the season. Go with that. Don't be holding on to dead fruit, because it ain't gonna do nothing but bring fruit flies and worms and nastiness. But then there's people that God didn't tell you to cut off. I'm not gonna tell you hold on to people. Realize that how you're holding on to them. Is it a need?
Yeah.
Is it emotional? Some people it's situational, but they've always been there for me. They were there for me. I was that person, because we went through something together. And you was fireproof. Try it in the fire. I'm gonna hold on to you. I said, no, that was a season. She's out of season now. Where I'm taking you, she can't go, because y'all are not going to be fruitful to each other up the road. There's not going to be any nourishment in this relationship. Darius Daniel said the other day, submit your relationships to God. And let him tell you how to navigate and who to demote and promote and categorize. Because we want to hold on to people, and sometimes they're in the wrong position. They're not meant to be a coach. They meant to be something else, an assignment, and you tried to make them a best friend.
That's good.
Out of season. And sometimes you're not, and ask yourself, who am I to them?
Yeah.
Some people see you as an opportunity. And my husband calls it a hurry come up. They see you coming up. Let me jump on your wagon. Girl, yeah,
Yeah.
we good until we not.
Mm-hmm.
Filter your relationships through God, through the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times God's word will remove or promote.
Yeah.
When I
Absolutely.
went through this recent season, the funny thing is the people I thought were going to be there were not the ones who stepped up.
Mm-hmm.
I likened it to being in that fire, in that fiery furnace.
Mhm.
And I looked around, and the ones that were still standing, I was pleasantly surprised
Mm-hmm.
because they haven't moved. But they were in the fire with me. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't, it wasn't anything in it for them other than to watch me heal.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we dismiss the blessing, the people that God has put in our life for a season appointed time.
Absolutely.
And you are that for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's never a one-sided situation.
Yeah.
Always understand that he's a multifaceted God. He's not going to do it just so you can gain something. Everybody wins when God's in it.
Absolutely.
But you got to give it to him. You know what I'm saying? And some people can withstand certain flames and others, listen, them heifers cry over a paper cut. No, boy, you can't roll with me because, see, listen, the way the enemies be attacking me, these ain't no light afflictions. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these ain't light. These ain't no paper cuts. These are like
Absolutely.
ninja cuts, like Sasha was talking about, them
Absolutely.
ninja stealth
The
moves.
ninja
Like,
step moves. Yeah.
listen, they didn't hit a jugular, an artery. This could cost me my life. Those type of attacks. You need to know who's on your team. You need to know. I've gone through some things where I had to call in some prayer warriors, and I'm like, everybody didn't get called.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
this one comment here is somebody said, Ari said that he really thinks that everyone has a different relationship with God. And that's true because everybody, your relationship with God is just strictly between
It's
you
yours.
and Him. Can nobody say exactly how it should be or how, whatever, because it's that interchangeable process between you and God, and only you know that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think some of the things that you had mentioned, and it really brought that point up, and really, that is true. You have to deal with yourself and deal with your relationship aspect of it. And a lot of times, when there are good people assigned to you or kind of come to your way, who's who with that. And then
Mhm.
you can kind of have those type of people that kind of be those iron sharpening irons in that process. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's still between you and God. Like even with us, we all have our own individual relationship. But at the same time, we have that the links between us, says that, okay, yeah, we still are of like mindedness. So we can still kind of flow in the same energy
Mhm.
and be there for each other when needed. But when it comes down to that actual process, we can only be there for the physical man, put it like that, in the natural state of things. But when the spirit is that relationship straight between you and God. So I just want to make sure that, because I've been looking at the comments and a lot of people have been saying things. I've been letting them pop up on the screen. Because I've gotten so into this whole conversation, I forgot about popping stuff
Man,
on the scene. But I just want to acknowledge some of these comments and everything. And I have what's oddly, it says the problem we have is thinking we can package and market God.
Mhm.
So yeah, so Adrian, you dropping some gems. You got people up here, commenting,
listen,
give some
you
good
can't
feedback.
market God.
You cannot.
There, you know, and that's the thing. When we try to contain God, I think that is the funniest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We think we got the whole market on God because He gave us the Bible, and not understanding that your story is still being written,
Absolutely.
that your relationship with God is still being developed. My
Yes.
relationship with God, the relationship I had with God at 22 is not the one that I have now.
Baby.
He's proven himself to me over time in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's any relationship. The relationship I have with Sasha is not the relationship I have with Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I have certain girlfriends that we could shop all day at DSW. I've spent 8 hours in DSW alone by myself, and it was beautiful. But then I have girlfriends like me and Candy. We can go and sit in Home Depot and talk about houses and building and spend the whole day and
Mhm.
be just fine.
Absolutely.
Your relationship with God is what you make it. And your relationship with people is what you make it. My level of transparency with one friend is not the same with another friend.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
in different areas. You know
And
what
they
I'm
serve
saying?
different purposes. I like to categorize.
Hmm.
Not to say it in a negative way, but I do. I like to categorize people because, like, everybody, like for you guys here, you're a part of my core. The
Hmm.
core group. That's why I say you're the crew. And in this core, you all still represent something different, but you're the
Mhm.
ones
Hmm.
I hold close to me. But then
Mhm.
there's others that I know, that may not be this close, but they're on a different side of things. So they're there for different
Right.
purposes, and I still
Right.
value them all for the purpose that they are in my life. So a lot of times you have to acknowledge who is in your life and for what reason, and
That's
understand.
yep.
Right.
That's good.
Because a lot of times it could be somebody who could be like, "Oh, that's my hangout buddy," and we straight, we cool, but we gonna hang out, we gonna go out. I have another good friend that we've been knowing each other. She's like my sister too. We've been knowing each other since we were little girls.
Mhm.
And I see y'all. Say I post her sometimes. My friend Selena,
Mhm.
and we've been knowing each other for almost 30 some years. And we lost contact at one point, but Facebook brought us back together. And since then, we haven't missed a beat. And then there's another friend of ours that grew up with us too. She's in Tennessee. Whenever she comes home, we always make it our business to get together. But at the end of the day, we may not talk every day, but
Mhm.
at the same time, we know how and when to reach out to each other. And we
Absolutely.
have our group chats. We'll check in on each other and all this other stuff. But it's like, to me, that's a different layer because they,
Yeah.
we've been together so long. And then we out there, we doing our own thing. And then you guys, y'all came in a pivotal moment of my life because at one point, when we kind of all met and, kind of
Yeah.
stages, Candy and everything, I was just like, there was a time that, okay, for me, this is my transparent moment, because y'all know I like to be transparent, but I don't like throw it out there all the time
Mm-mm.
until I'm
Mm-mm.
ready. But for me, I'm a people person. I love people. My heart is with people. That's
Mhm.
just it. But I've also been in a situation by I've been burnt by a lot of people too. I've
Hmm.
been hurt. So,
Mhm.
and then when it came to like females, even like just coming up in high school, elementary, whatever, it's just like I was one of the type of people. I always had more male friends than female friends, but then I still had a few. But then I had those that were still close to me. But then there was a situation that happened, in college and stuff like that, and it was just like everything, like the group of friends I had, it was just we all went our different way for a certain reason, you know,
Hmm.
and I was in the middle that got caught in that. Didn't do anything wrong, but I got caught in that and I got burnt. So I was like, what's the use of having friends? I don't care about that. I'm good. I got my sister, me and my sister are really close, but I'm just like, I got my sister, I got this. I don't need any friends. And then every now and then I get a group of friends, a couple of friends along the way. But for
Mhm.
some reason, there was always something that happened,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and I knew it wasn't me. Then I'm just gonna hands down, just say that because I'm not the person that's gonna cause. I'm not gonna cause an offense. I'm not gonna cause that. And if it is anything that happened, I'm also the person say, look, hey, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
are we good? What do I need to do to make it right? And I
Yeah.
apologize. I'm sorry. So
Mhm.
I don't have a problem doing that at all. But it came to a point I said, you know what? Forget girlfriends. Forget it. I'm I'm good. And so, and it was, yeah, because even Kiara, when she was little, she said, Mommy, why you don't have a lot of friends? I'm good. I don't need all that. I don't need that drama
Mhm.
because it seemed like every time you kind of open up to have
Yep.
friends, it was something always happens. So I'm like, I might as well just
Yeah.
be to myself. And so, but when I
Mhm.
met you guys, it was like, I was like, you know what? I'm getting kind of lonely. I need some friends. I need some friends to go out with because at the times, like that's all you saw, me and Kiari or me and my family. That was it.
Hmm.
And so the door is open for good friends to come around, like Jamel, Candy, Adrian. I still remember Adrian to this day when y'all came, and I said, "You and Cindy," and I walked up to you, and I was like, "Hey," all bubbly. and and
He was
welcome
so
y'all.
bubbly.
And then it was like, and ever since then, our relation, we've grown closer over the
Yeah,
years,
Mhm.
and then
yeah.
with Jackie was just like, Jackie was singing everywhere. And and I just saw her and I was like, you know what? I was going to Tennessee for an event and I was just like, you know what? You and Ro and Renisa, I said, why don't y'all come down? Because I felt like there was something there for everybody to
Yeah.
get a piece of the pie, even though I was going
Hmm.
down for the event,
Hmm.
but it was an
Yeah.
opportunity for them to get something out of it too. Ro was
Yep.
a photographer. Renisa had the magazine at the time. Jackie was singing. I wanted her to see what singing and what opportunities look like outside the
Right.
area.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I'm like, come on, hop in the car. We drove, what, 15, 16 hours?
Y'all drove.
Road
I
trip.
slept.
She slept, but I didn't think that I would come back with a good friend. And
Mhm.
that's when
Hmm.
me and Jackie bonded. And from there, we just been friends and sisters and best friends, besties this entire time.
Mhm.
So I'm thankful, for the group of people that I have and, that stuck around. And there's been some others along the way that I can still, they still know how to call me and we can still reach out to each other and nothing, bad has happened. We're just doing our own things in life. But
Mhm.
it's for you guys, you have been the core of, everything. You're the ones I will call, be like, look, Candy, no. And I'll be trying not to say anything. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. And then I was like, we just keep talking. I was like, well, and
Well.
that's, but she knows, and it's always there. So, and Jackie, we hands down, we'll come. She'll come over here on the sofa like, let's get a bottle of wine. I'll cook
Let's go
some
to the beach.
food.
Now
I
she is
go
a
to the
fish in the
beach.
water. She love the
Let's go to
beach.
the beach and sit out here and just chill. Because
Yeah.
it's something about the waves. For me and the
Yeah.
beach, it's just it's straight
She gonna
tranquility.
retire at a beach.
Yes. I
Enjoy
already said, look,
herself.
if I could take this laptop and just go and work remotely from wherever,
That
any
part.
beach, have a good Wi-Fi with me and all this stuff, I would do it. But there's value in who you have that's with you along your journey.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
even if the journey, it was just there for a short period of time, but there was still value in it. And when you look back
Absolutely.
at it, there's always something that you can learn from the associations or the good friendships or anything in that nature. It's just about perspective and how you look at
Mhm.
it, and like I said, friends are for every moment. And you might have somebody like I'm doing, a lot of business stuff now. And who knows? I can meet somebody to network with on the business side of
Hmm.
things. We might be like, look, hey, there's this network event. We might be at every network event doing, just doing our thing. But it's good. You just have to be attentive to
Mhm.
who's coming around. Being open, but yet attentive because at the
Mhm.
same time you still got to understand what's the purpose of that
So
the
that
drawing
I'm
relationship.
to
glad you
Mhm.
said. I'm glad you said that because a lot of times, what I've learned in this last season of my life is that we get so caught up in asking God why, and not what.
Mhm.
The why doesn't change that it's happening, but the what will give you insight to how you need to navigate.
yeah
Mm.
Whether it's with a business venture, what's the purpose of this? When you're entering in relationships, when God brings new people into my life, and my circle is still a dot. Y'all will get that later. Um, what's the purpose of the relationship? What's the purpose of this person being in my life? And a
Mhm.
lot of times we don't stop long enough to ask God, what's the purpose of a thing?
I don't.
And we think it's one thing, and God has something totally different. Like, listen, I'm trying to join y'all together because I need this business to take off up the road, or y'all going to have this joint business venture.
Mhm.
It's not romantic.
Ah. Yeah.
Mhm.
She's not called to be your bestie. Y'all are on assignment together.
Mhm.
Once you understand the purpose of it, what's the lesson in it? What is this going to teach me? Everything you encounter in life is to teach you something, and to
Mhm.
teach
Yes.
the other person on the other side of you something.
hmm
And we get so caught up in the moment of, oh, we having fun, but it's a whole lesson in that,
Mhm.
Mhm.
you know. Um, and whatever you don't learn now, you're gonna learn later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can take the test again. It's okay. You like to be remedial, go
Yeah.
right ahead. I'm trying
Keep
not to
repeating
make
the
you
cycle. Say
breathe.
it, Adrian. Keep
Um,
repeating the cycle.
but ask Daddy, what's the purpose of this God? Like, this is a nice person. I vibe with her, but because the enemy will bring people in too
Yeah.
to sabotage you, to distract you, to waste your time, to eat up your resources, to eat up the energy you're gonna need for where you're going. You got to know what it is and
Mm-hmm.
rightly put them in a place. I think the best book that I read last year, which I do a lot of audiobooks, was Relational Intelligence.
Mm.
And it was Dr. Darius Daniels. And I'm really on him here lately because I'm like, okay, that was good. That was good. That was good. I saw him on YouTube and it said the message that he had was the 5 people you can't help.
Mm,
It's people you can't help.
that is
Some
so
people don't
true.
want to be helped. Some people don't want you to help them.
The
They don't
empathy.
mind getting help. They just don't want it from you.
Ugh.
Because who are you to tell me? And I know what you did. I know your dirt. Even Jesus couldn't do no mighty works because they were too familiar.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
good,
understanding who God brings in,
Adrian.
he'll add to you. Those people will add value to you.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that he doesn't, they're going to start taking away from you. Checks and balances.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate it.
Like, are you making deposits? Or are you making too many withdrawals on an account? You ain't putting no deposits in. Wait, your credit don't extend that long.
Mm.
You need to be running credit checks on people.
That is so good. I need to start praying that prayer.
I'm
What?
so serious.
Because I'm
But
so like
we don't do
I
our
be
due
quick to I
diligence to
cut people
ask
off.
Daddy about
I
our
just don't.
relationship with people.
I don't know if there's a word or why. If I
You
just be
know,
like, well,
so
I cut them off.
I give you any little wisdom. Do do your credit checks on your relationships? What's your
That's
credit like?
that's good,
What's the fruit
Adrian.
of your relationships with other people? You know,
I'm gonna start praying that prayer. The
what
what?
do you want it to be?
Yeah, because
So
I'm at that
that's
point
all
where
I
I don't
got.
want to waste
I'm
time.
done.
I
Jackie, you're on mute.
I'm not on mute. The thing muted me. Am I still on mute?
No, I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't know
I
what
can, Jackie.
happened. It be acting crazy. But no, but I was like, I need to start praying that the what because I just told the Lord that I was like, Lord, I don't want to waste my time with people. Like I'm getting older. I've been through a lot, and I just don't have the
I
heart.
just told the Lord that I was like, Lord, I don't want to waste.
I don't have the heart or the capacity, the mental space to go through with people. I just
But Jackie, it's okay to ask God because I do this a lot. I'm like, when if I meet somebody new, I was like, God, what is my purpose in this role that I'm in? What is the purpose
mhm.
of this relationship?
uh,
Because I'm like you, I don't have time to, just to waste on things. Because we
yeah.
all have people that they just draining. When you see the phone ring or you see that name pop up, you be like, oh my God, hey, just stop, don't do it. You see the phone ring, you're like, I just can't. And you hit the silence and send them to the voicemail or whatever. You don't call them back, but it's like they just pull from you, and it's like, there, stop it. Whatever they're going through, it's just like as much as you try to put positivity into them, it's just all they give back is negative, and it's just draining.
It
So you just
is.
have to stop it. You have to turn them off because some people are like, I can't. You on block. That's it. You on block.
You have to know your own capacity of what you can handle in things,
And
and
yeah,
that's
my
having
capacity is
that
this
balance.
small.
And your capacity in anything, that's one of the things that one of my life lessons that I have learned recently. You have to operate within your capacity. If you go beyond that, a lot of times you will, you know, that's when you feel that burnout. That's when you feel like you can't just enjoy the moment of it. So it's
and
definitely that.
and Asia, I do want to say something. That was so
You
good
better
because
you better know and have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I think Sasha, we were talking a long time ago about relationships and about, you know, I don't know if it was you or maybe it's another girlfriend. And I said, she's wanting to date. I don't think it was you, it was somebody else. And I was like, she's trying to date. And I'm like, so what are your non-negotiables?
Hmm.
She didn't know.
mm,
A lot of times we walk into relationships not even having boundaries with people. Um, not setting boundaries in our existing relationships, the things that are non-negotiables, the things we're not going to put up with. Know that we're on track or on a journey, and the vision that God has given us for our life and what that looks like. So then we get easily distracted by somebody who comes along and, yeah, girl, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And okay, she ain't got a pot to piss in, when to throw it out of, but she counting your money. Wait, what? You didn't set that boundary. I have certain friends where I can talk about my finances around, and there's others, no, but that's not what we do, because you're not counting my coins. Have several seats, ma'am. Or we can talk about certain things, but we won't talk about that. Understanding that I have a whole schedule. On Sundays, please don't call me. Because me and Daddy in this room having whole conversations, or I'm at church. I have to have a set time. Like when I would have date night with Jonathan on Friday night, you can't find me. Everybody's on mute because that's a priority. But if you don't know what your boundaries are, people gonna steamroll right all through whatever you have in your mind. You know, I'm trying to save money. Girl, we can go here. Let's and chick popping bottles and paying for drinks for other people for $400, $500. No, boo, that's not my budget. You know, and you have to know what your boundaries are going forward. You know, not making it up as you go along. So you set the level of expectation that, no, baby, I don't go there. I can't have those type of conversations with you, because God is working on me, so I won't be gossiping about people, because He's trying to teach me some things about my anointing and what I do, what I speak and what I don't need to speak, and the conversations I don't need to be a part of. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm trying to, no, I ain't got money to be giving you over here. And I see that you, every month you don't pay your bills, but you in my phone calling me, ma'am. I can't write you off on my taxes. You are not tax deductible. You are not a dependent. So what we not going to do?
Exactly.
And we take so much out of our resources to people instead of giving them to tools to fish for themselves, because we just want to help. There's help, and then there's enablement. And some people, because of their relationship with you, feel entitled. No, you ain't entitled. I don't believe you work for this.
Yeah.
And your relationship with me does not entitle you to access to my money, resources, or other people. You know, there's levels to this. There's levels to relationships and levels of trust. You know, my brother was telling me, we were talking last night. He says there's certain people that can't come to my house.
Yeah.
Because that's your inner space. That's where you are, like he said, most vulnerable. Everybody should not have full access out the gate. You better set some boundaries. Because if not, then you wonder why you robbed of your peace.
Yeah.
Because you sitting there trying to help her out her problem, and you done got distracted off of what God called you to do.
Right.
You so wrapped up in what's going on with her. Like, listen, I need to detox from you for a minute. Wait, my whole mind shook. You disturb my spirit. You know, and we get so caught up in those things that we neglect us.
Yeah.
So have boundaries in your relationships.
Yeah.
If you know you on a journey and you and God, y'all got a meeting time, and it ain't just on Sunday mornings, that y'all meet every day at 2:00 in the park, set that boundary and let people know that expectation. No, I got an appointment. Everybody got to know your business. When you fasting, everybody got to know your business.
Yeah.
If you want people to get in tune with you or in line with whatever you're fasting for, that's one thing. But because some people would purposely sabotage you because they like you in a distressful state, because then they can use you.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Those
You
are
know,
the reasons that you have to set boundaries.
right.
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't look. Y'all check the time. It's almost.
I know, right?
I didn't think we were gonna go.
Happen.
But definitely,
It's been good though. It's been really
it's
good.
been so good, and I hope
know.
everybody.
Definitely.
Now, I mean, I definitely ain't ready to cut it off, but I know we got things to do too.
Yeah,
But
I gotta do some edit.
I really appreciate y'all being up here, and I'm up here recording for the podcast as well, and we are on 3-part series.
Break it up
Untitled.
however you need to. That's called content, right? That's what you call it?
That's
Yeah.
what
Content.
yes.
Mhm.
So, but I appreciate every last one of y'all being up here with me today. Thank y'all so much for this girl chat. We're gonna try to do this again, not that often, but maybe like once a quarter, something like that, or
Yeah.
however, we could get back up here and talk about life and other things. And I appreciate everybody out there on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Everybody has been commenting. I hope that you all have gotten something out of this, and
Yes.
y'all see why I got these ladies around my life, around me. And Jackie, one thing that I didn't get a chance for you to do is to let people know how to find you.
You can actually just go to my page, Jackie Pate, Pate, but I'm not on Facebook a whole lot, so
You gotta change that.
just inbox me.
Yeah.
Just inbox
So,
me. On my Instagram, you can find me at Just Jackie Music.
mhm.
And that's
And
pretty
you
much
also
it.
on TikTok.
I am on.
Okay.
Let's not talk about that. Okay, so I am a Adrian. No, who's that? I am a Candy.
Adrian, yeah.
Like I am a Candy. I am trying to get into social media. Sasha been drilling it in me for years. Like you need to get on. You need to pray for me, saints. That's all I got for you. That's all I got. Just pray for me because I hate social media, but I'm trying. I'm trying.
But I'll have their information too. Like I said, once again, everybody that's up here, they have been tagged on this post as well, and so you could be able to find them. And I will put the information up here as I close out everything. But I just want to say thank you, everybody. I really enjoyed this. I'm glad it went the way it went. But this is what our girls chat looked like, just with us, just individually or collectively together when we're out at dinner or whatever we're doing. But I hope that everybody got something out of it. And thank y'all for being here for this special edition of According to Sasha.
Yes.
And y'all can follow this will be on Spotify as well. So definitely like, follow, share. I do include engagement questions just to keep everybody engaged with the podcast. But February 3rd is going to be the official podcast conversations with Arthur Burris, and he'll be talking about Patero, the new app. And so y'all join me on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I would love to see y'all here. So
Okay.
bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, y'all.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Adrian,
Bye.
I'm gonna contact.
Check out
I
his
need to
song
contact
because I'm pretty
Adrian,
sure
Sasha.
you know.
Jackie, come on, take us out into a song. Can you break one out for us?
First of all, I didn't hear what y'all said. I just heard a song. Oh, actually, I can. Okay, so I just released this. I'm gonna do a song I haven't done in so long. It's been years now. It was one of my first songs, and I think I'm gonna sing that one. I'm thinking. Okay, I'm gonna do the new one. So I'm gonna just do the chorus. If I gotta go through the fire, I'd rather be in this with you. If I gotta be in the lion's den, at least I know that you are here with me. That's all I got.
Yay!
Well,
I actually forgot the words, and that happens a lot. Sasha knows.
Yay!
Baby, that's more than enough. That's more than
But
enough.
if you want to hear,
I
listen,
actually
forgot the words, and that happens a lot.
Yay!
If you want to hear the full song,
That's more than enough.
go to my page, Jackie Page, and I'll put the link up.
Okay. So y'all know how to find that. She'll put the link on her page. It is on Apple Music, Spotify.
It is.
Yeah, and it's out there. So
Yeah,
definitely.
and Adrian, I need some pictures. So
Okay. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. It is almost 2 o'clock. Oh my gosh. And
This is good.
yeah, this has been amazingly awesome. So thank you guys. All right, I'm gonna shut it off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.